can I ask you a question?
But people can hear you now when you ask the question because we're live. But yeah,
Oh, oh,
that
I'm
or
sorry.
you can no, I don't care. You can type it if you want, or if it's all private and whatnot.
I I bet I'm going to type it
Uh oh,
anyway.
let's do this. Oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Can you share screen? Yes, please. Whatever you want to show. So basically, what? Let me. I'll bring up. Are you watching the chat on YouTube as a second window? Do you have that up?
Yeah,
Okay,
I,
so
I'm
Okay, so you should see a Coke can spinning around, a Diet Coke can. So now you should see you and me on screen. So whatever you want me to drag onto that screen, if you want to show people or whatever,
uh huh.
we can make that work. Okay,
Okay,
are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, hello, you old knucklehead so and so's. It's Jaffe and my brand new best friend, Game Philosophy. We are going to be discussing. People say it's a debate. I don't call it a debate, I call it foreplay. We're going to be having a conversation all about the supposed agenda, which I don't believe in, but I get the sense Game Philosophy does, regarding women in media, specifically video games. There's a word on the street out there that suggests that there's some sort of agenda from on high that is requiring and asking people who do creative work in the movies, TV, and specifically video games to make the women ugly, to make the women folk ugly. I don't understand it, and Game Philosophy is here to explain it. Now, let me tell you something real quick before we get started. I just met him today. He seems like a good. He's a good fella. He's honest. He's hardworking, and he hadn't killed anybody yet. So I want you to give him, if you're from my channel, give him your respect. If you want to talk to him or talk to me and ask questions, you can put yourself in the call-in waiting room on Discord. Rob the mod will make sure you're not a fucking moron. And if that's the case, we'll bring you on a little bit later in the show. I'm going to shut up now. Game Philosophy, you reached out to me and said, Jaffe, that Sassel fella ain't going to talk to you, but I'll step up and let's have a conversation. So what do you want to talk about?
Exactly. Thanks you. I'm a really good fan of you. I'm just going to ask the audience that I'm going to try to speak the best as I can. Okay, my English and my pronunciation is quite weird. I live in California, Lake Tahoe, for about almost 2 years. I have a lot of friends from San Diego, Orange County, San Francisco also. So I have been going on and doing search about the idea of identity politics, but also how hard is the right wing to the left wing conversation and these fights that are going to explode in United States. I do not agree with anyone. I have my own point of view, so it's not about an agenda. I'm going to try to be polite as I can and bring data and all the things that I have been searching for about 4 years. I have been reading about your constitution, your Bill of Rights, and the game developers. I'm actually 30 years old. I born in the 90s, so I experienced most of the three-dimensional consoles, let's say, from Nintendo,
PlayStation.
Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1 to 4.
Right.
I'm also a big fan. I had all the PlayStation consoles. So what I'm going to try to say today is not about a fight against PlayStation versus Xbox or PC. I'm going to try to figure out what is going on, what is going on with the media, and maybe you can have a different view of how Latin American people from the South, okay, think about video games and this fight that is going on, not just in United States, but also in Spain, in Europe, and also in Japan. There's a lot of things to speak. So what I'm going to try to exactly speak is not about sexuality against horrible women or something like that. My actually channel has been growing up from about 8 months. I knew I should start this channel from about 8 months ago. And what I find myself is that I have a lot of transgender gamers, okay, lesbians, gays. I have a lot of gays friends. I have a pretty good diverse audience, but they also have talent. I have a friend that is working in CD Projekt Red. I have another friend that is working from Ubisoft, and I have a lot of indie game developers. Okay, you might not know the games; they are really new, but this is how the new gaming generation in South America is going on.
Okay.
So we have. Okay.
I just wanted to let you know, if I'm looking over here or if I'm looking over there, I'm not paying attention to you. I have my moderator, Rob the Mod, is over here, and I have the chat over here. So I'm just tracking everything, but you totally have my full attention. I wouldn't want you to think I'm being rude. Okay, sorry, keep going.
No, that's great. So first off, I think that we can find a good point of view, so we can start about things that we can agree both. Okay, so there's a reality that I think that I have been growing up playing video games, especially the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3 generation and the 2000 or early 2000s. We know female designs had been over sexualized in a way that many people find uncomfortable, or they don't find a good way to portray female designs in whatever realm you might think, in the real world or in the fictional world. Okay, but then we have a good transition, what I found around 2013, let's say Tomb Raider reboot, the new Lara Croft, when you have a good mix of sensuality, but it's not hypersexuality, but at the same time she has a beautiful face, she has a good facial expression, and she has power. He kills men. He's the heroine of the video game.
Yeah.
But in the latest generation of video games, I have seen quite a shift from these female designs. Okay, we get it. There's many people that actually want female designs to look more natural. They not too much skin exposed, you might say. But then we have a transition that there's many video games, and I have a good example that female designs start to look more male designs. In exchange, Japan is doing the same thing they have been doing all over again. You have Street Fighter V, but you also have Resident Evil Village, you can portray a older woman that it has a good sex appeal, but at the same time has a good character design. People like it. Female gamers like it, and it's selling very well. It's around 4 million sales.
You're talking about the new one, Village. You're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the new Resident Evil.
Yeah.
4 million sales, and pretty much the best PC game ever in terms of sales for PC and Capcom. So okay, we agree. There's a quite difference between female designs in the West, female designs in Japan, let's say. Okay.
I don't know if I don't know enough about it. I can tell you that I know there have been some complaints by some gamers regarding Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake that the women were dressed less scantily and less overtly sexual in the remakes, and those were made in Japan. So I think maybe certainly you're still going to get the overt sexuality coming out of Japan, but you're also going to get the overt sexuality coming out of America. You're just not currently seeing it as much in AAA games anymore, but it still exists.
I fully agree that you have sexuality in the indie games and the and the
AA.
Let's say AA. Yeah. That was what I'm trying to say. But the question is why the AAA and the big budget companies have shifted so much in terms of video game designs.
Right.
What I found and my fellow gamers thinks that is quite hypocrite. We have a contradiction here. So let's say PlayStation. We know PlayStation. We have PlayStation Digital Entertainment, PlayStation Picture Entertainment. There was a moment where PlayStation moved their headquarters from Japan to United States.
Correct.
After that, I'm not trying to lie into you, but this is a statement that is official. The Me Too organization, that I do not have any problems with the Me Too organization. I'm just trying to take the data out. PlayStation have a good relationship with the Me Too movement and the diversity department that come from the LGBT organization. What we found, and especially the diverse audience, transgenders, lesbians, gays from my channel, is that there's some points from the organization. I'm not calling an agenda. I'm not calling about the destruction of humanity or something like that. But we found that there's some point that they are not listening to the other side of the spectrum, okay? Let's say, for example, we have a lot of gay people that loves female designs, powerful female designs, transgenders that want to get a more transgender female design, and I can give you two examples from Japan. You have one example, it's called Professor R, with R, I'm sorry from the English. A game is called Deadly Premonition 2.
Yeah.
Deadly Premonition. Okay, you have a nice interpretation of a transgender woman, okay, that is perfectly fine in character development. Everyone like it. It is absolutely gorgeous. She is beautiful.
Well, I'm going to look her up while you're talking. I'll put her on the screen. What is her name? What do I type?
Like Professor like the X-Men, but with R. Professor R.
Professor
I have a R, yeah.
Okay, let me bring this on the screen. I don't think that's what it is. Let me, hang on a minute. Okay, is it one of these? This one right here?
Let's see.
Is it this?
I'm not seeing anything.
Are you looking at Are you looking at YouTube?
Yeah, I'm looking at YouTube.
Yeah, it's on there. I'm looking at it right now. You guys don't see that moving around?
No, it is not. It's you type deadly premonition.
No, but
deadly.
but hang on. Do you see what's on the screen though? Do you see that?
Yeah,
okay.
Perfectly
okay.
fine.
Oh, I didn't type deadly premonition. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay, this is the woman, the blonde woman, correct?
Yeah, the blonde woman, correct.
All right, let's see if there's more pictures because I only see just that one real tight close-up shot. It's kind of weird. You'd think there'd be more of her, but
you can type deadly premonition in the search bar and you will find a lot of pictures.
I did. It's not showing up. I just see these. That's her though, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's her.
So
okay.
what about her? What about her?
What about her? So everyone in the Deadly Premonition fan community, outside some issues that have been going on, this guy actually have a friend, which is a queer and transgender woman that give him a lot of advice to how to portray a good transgender character. She is powerful. She is very attractive. She has a lot of tools, and he plays a good role when it comes to identity and the main character. Why I'm looking at this picture? Because what I'm seeing also, maybe you know the game NieR Replicant. We have another let's call intersexual character, which is called Cain.
But let me cut you off at the pass for a second. So
yeah,
tell me if I'm wrong here. What you're getting at is the idea that there are games that you can cite where the women and the trans women, and I'm assuming the men and the trans men as well, are more traditionally attractive if you're talking about something like NieR or Deadly Premonition, and those women are not weak or submissive or anything. So is where you're going, why can't we still have that and have strong female narratives, but they can still be attractive?
That's just one point.
Actually, we got to pick up the pace. So it's like a fucking lecture. Let's get to it.
Don't worry. I'm just trying to.
I know, but I'm worried because the audience is like, Jesus, man, get to it, baby. So
oh,
what's your get to the nuts and berries, baby?
let's go to the net. So there's something called viscerocranium. Okay, this is a flat bone. Okay, the flat bone that this had been developed in a lot of AAA games has been changed. Okay, the viscerocranium, which has led to our cheeks. Okay,
Yeah.
to our 14
I got
bones of the
I
face.
got. What's your point though, as it relates to video games?
They have been changing a lot of characters. I have the picture for every character.
I don't
Let's
think.
go to
Okay,
the
you don't have to prove it. So what you're saying is, as you have been looking at AAA character design, you have been seeing the facial bone structure of these characters being changed and becoming less feminine.
it's slightly, just a
Okay,
slightly
all right,
masculine.
fair enough. Okay, keep going.
But it's not just that. A lot of developer has been talking about it, especially in a few AAA companies that they don't want to tell their names because that will be an issue for the company and the terms of the politics.
Okay.
But they pretty much say that, okay, what we have is when we have a design, a female design, diversity department say, okay, let's do it, but you have to change a few things.
Which which company?
Okay, you have, for example, Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is a good example.
Who is this?
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog. You're under the impression Naughty Dog has a diversity department, and whenever they design a character, the diversity department has to approve the character.
It's not just approve the character.
No,
It's
not
looking,
does that exist?
it actually exists, and,
No,
also in
but
Ubisoft.
does the approval exist? Are you telling me they can go to Neil Druckmann and say, no, Neil, she has to look like this?
Neil Druckmann is the one who has the decision, but when you have a design department, you have also a team. You have to know that. So you have conversation between each artist.
Uh-huh.
There's a discussion. So what is the final design of every sketch of every design, and then they take the final design for the game. What I'm saying is there's a lot of search that what is going on is that they have to change slightly the female designs specifically.
You have absolutely no evidence of that, first of all. I guarantee you, if you speak to Cory Barlog, if you speak to Neil Druckmann, if you speak to Jeff Ross and John Garvin on Days Gone, not a once. Now, there may have been a diversity department that they said, hey, as part of wanting to grow our audience, can we give you our input? And they're like, yeah, sure. But that doesn't mean that they're obligated to take it. I don't think can you show me the evidence of that?
I never say that you have to be obligated, but also Days Gone has a pretty nice female design and is quite powerful.
Okay.
I was talking just first off, Ubisoft company. I have the image of the transgender woman design that made Ivor to look his chin more male.
Which game?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Valhalla had a transgender character.
It's not about no transgender. It's about changing the facial expression. I have the pictures to show you.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up for us. Tell me the name. I played it, but I don't remember her name. This is Assassin's Creed.
Ivor.
EVO.
Yeah, EVO.
Oh, I got it. Yep. Okay, let's bring it up.
But what I
keep going.
The thing is that what I'm trying to do is I have the pictures to show you each specific game and each change. I can do it from Google. That's the reason why.
But my response is, so what? What do you mean? Assassin's Creed. I mean, first off, I don't think you have any evidence to suggest. Here, okay, let me talk for a quick moment. I don't think you have any evidence to suggest that these departments have authority to make these changes, okay? And I know you're saying you don't. I get it. I hear you. Okay.
There's no authority.
Fair enough. So let's say for the moment the
advices.
Okay, fair. And I think that's fine. You know, I'll give you an example. I was working, even though it was a total failure, I was working on Drawn to Death. And Drawn to Death, we had a Native American costume for one of the Dracula characters that could fly. And I was looking at it, and I went to the concept artist, and I was like, oh, it's great, let's do it. And she said to me, she said, well, I need to kind of run through these like symbols and stuff, because there was all these different symbols and sort of badges or whatnot on the costume. And I said, who cares? Just let's go with it. And she's like, well, for Native American people, it's really offensive. If you're kind of mixing tribes that hate each other, you don't really want to do that. I said, oh, really? I had no idea. She's like, yeah. I said, okay, well, yeah, then go ahead and do that. Right. So, I mean, the fact that you can get some data from people and go, oh, I had no idea. Thanks for that. And if you feel as the director or the producer or the studio head, you want to make those changes, that's great. But even if the, let's say the worst case scenario, that the diversity head makes the final call. Okay. And let's say the diversity head has picked the absolute most unattractive to you version of a woman. Okay. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, no matter what pictures you can show me, is the best-selling Assassin's Creed ever. Last of Us 1 and 2, well, hang on. I guarantee you, because my company doesn't exist anymore. You know why my company doesn't exist anymore? My game company? Because Sony said your last game didn't sell worth a goddamn, and as much as we love you, Jaffe, we don't want to keep investing. Okay, they're a business. And so if they go out there and they sell these games that have this forced diversity that you guys keep saying is ruining gaming, and yet they keep making more and more and more money and breaking records more and more and more and growing the audience, what's the problem?
First off, I have to. I'm going to go fast because I want to be polite, man. But you are going so fast. Let's go.
Yeah.
First off, the Last of Us franchise sold a lot of copies, and we know it because the first game was one of the best-selling games ever, and
That's right.
Everyone was waiting for a sequel.
Yes.
It's not about that. The Last of Us 2 sell itself. It sold so very well because the first game was everyone liked it.
Well,
everyone seems to agree about
hang on.
it.
Well, hang on. You can't own that. You're right in part, right? So like we did Twisted Metal 1 and 2. Twisted Metal 2 was a huge hit. People loved it. Twisted Metal 3 sold on the back of Twisted Metal 2. And I know what you're saying. Yeah. There is absolutely an aspect. Like if you look at the first month of sales of anything that's a sequel, you're really living off the meal of the previous game. You're absolutely right about that. But that's not all the reason it sold.
No, but what I'm saying is that even if you are a director and you create games, there's no way you can see and understand the whole picture of the entire game community that are waiting for a game, especially for the ending of the first one. I have an entire community and a lot of people that want the Last of Us 2 because how the game ends and wanting to see what was that feels so powerful to the first game. We know it, and PlayStation know it, that the game sold very well the first week and the first months. And what the media does, and you cannot spin facts about it, is that when but I'm going to say, when the sales start to go down, what the media was doing is, okay, in Australia, this is the Last of Us 2 is the best selling game in Australia. Then they moved to Japan. Then they moved to Spain.
But isn't that perfect? Isn't that what you want? What you're basically saying is, if you're right, and by the way, I've made 3 videos about this. I have inside people at Sony, and I still can't tell you if they're satisfied with The Last of Us 2 sales. I literally made a video about, was The Last of Us 2, which I loved, but was it too, quote, woke? And Jim Ryan's going to step in and say, look, Neil Druckmann, I know you're the biggest, chief in the village or whatever, but ultimately we can't spend the kind of money these games cost if you're going to make a game that is that polarizing. Okay. But go ahead.
We get it. I understand the game is successful, but
no. What I'm saying is, if the game isn't successful, then you are absolutely right. And Sony will say, you know what, we tried that, didn't work. If the game sells a lot, and I don't mean two, because what you're saying is, and again, let me be clear, you have a community of 30,000 people on YouTube. I have a community of 30,000 people on YouTube. But you know what? Sony has sales, they have PR, they have marketing, they have telemetry, they have data, they have entire companies they hire to go out there and find out what people liked and didn't like about their products. These are not idiots.
I get it, but I don't want to change the narrative. But let's give you an example, okay?
Yeah, okay.
You say Days Gone, okay?
Yep.
I will tell you something that you will never know because it's only happening in Latin America. We have five journalists. One journalist give 5 points of the game, and the entire writing of the game is that he hated the game because the main character was protecting the Second Amendment. He was a liberal. He was attracting to the Republican ideas, and there's no gameplay issues. There's no issues with the main character.
Why is that your problem?
What? Because there's a lot of media outlets that are destroying games depending of the view of
How
the character.
How are they destroying games?
I'm just telling you one. I have 40 in Latin America.
No. Let's just take the first one. How did that guy destroy The Last of Us 2?
Okay, let's go. There's an interview about PlayStation saying that the game didn't get very good reviews, and that was one of the main principles that there wasn't a sequel of Days Gone when the game launches. Let's take aside that there has issues, there was bugs,
right?
But the PlayStation itself and the director of the game say the reason we don't have a sequel is because the reviews were shit. I'm sorry for the word. It wasn't selling so much. So okay, I agree about the selling aspect.
Right, you said two things. There's the reviews and the selling, right?
I agree about the selling aspect, but what the reviews does, if you look up the user score, there's so much difference between what the journalists say and what the user score, not just Metacritic. Let's forget about Metacritic because we know you can have bots, you can have a lot of issues. I'm talking about the entire community.
Okay.
But I didn't want to go that way. What I wanted
prove
to
your
see
point.
You,
I don't care what way you go, as long as you prove your point. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so I want to show you 4 and 5 games that there's a different aspect of the design of the characters this is 100% true, at least in Latin America.
Okay.
A lot of transgenders, gay, homosexual. Let me finish.
Yep.
Gays, homosexual, love female design. This is not just something that heterosexuals want.
Okay, so how can you show me that? You want to share your screen?
I want to share. I want to share a lot of screens, of course.
Okay,
and I never say that Eivor is a transgender. Never say that. I don't know why the chat is saying that.
I can't look at the chat right now. I'm focused on you.
Okay.
Baby. But I never got the sense she was a transgender. I mean, I didn't play it that long, but
she's not. That's the reason. But okay, let me try how I have to share screen, right?
Yeah, there's a green button at the bottom that says share screen, and if you click that, it'll bring up your screens.
It's disabled. It's disabled right in this very moment.
It is disabled.
The house is disabled. Participant screen share.
Advanced sharing options. Let me see. Oh, multiple participants can share. Okay.
Yeah.
Try. Oh, yep. Who can share? All participants. Who can start sharing when someone else? All right. See if you can do it now.
Okay, just give me a second.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You got it? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The first thing I'm going to do, the point I'm trying to do, I can do it in 5 seconds. I have a lot of data. First off, I'm going to show you a diverse character, an Asian character made by Ninja Theory. Okay. They are pretty diverse. They just gave a Twitter that they are pro LGBT.
Okay.
So this is one of the main characters of Heavenly Sword. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah, she's small over there on the right. Yeah, I see her.
Okay, so you have a diverse character that for me is not just good appealing, but if you play the game, she's awesome. She kill ass. You have she's not over sexualized. And also in the intersectionality theory and the critical race theory, she is representing the Asian race. So nobody should be afraid or be offended by it. Okay.
She's representing which race?
The Asian.
Oh, she's Asian.
Race.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yep.
Yeah. So then they made another game when they have the female design and the male design sexualized for both. So both men and female are sexualized, and the game is called
Soul Sacrifice or
no, Slave.
Oh yeah, Slave. The West, Journey to the West. Yeah.
Okay, and okay. Let me.
What was that thing called? Something Enslaved Journey to the West is what it was called.
Yeah. Stop sharing. Let's go. So then you have this design that is not over sexualized. It's very feminine. Okay. I'm not talking about someone naked. She is just.
Hang on a second. Yeah. Can you? Let me make sure they can see your image. Hang on. I think they can't. Yep. Okay. Keep going. Sorry about that.
Okay. And then I'm going to go to the male character.
Okay.
So then you have the male character, which is this one, and it's I do not recall the name, but I will remember.
Okay. You spend a lot of time thinking about this and collecting pictures.
I have been. It's not just about collecting pictures. It's about talking about developers also.
Okay, can you open? Can you make this bigger? The chat's asking. Can you blow that up a little bit? Like, can you expand the picture?
It's not working. I'm trying to expand the picture. It's not working.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So if you can't see it that well, if you're watching on your phone, it's a picture of kind of the Monkey King from Enslaved Journey to the West hanging from like a pillar, right? Okay.
Okay, so you have both female and male characters sexualized, and everyone was fine. What I'm going to do now is
You're saying that was a sexualized character? That was a monkey.
He looks like a male too. You cannot. He's not a monkey.
He's the Monkey King.
See the story,
isn't he the Monkey King in that game? Hang on.
So you are telling me that he has no whatsoever male appearance.
Oh, he does, but I don't think he was designed to be sexual unless you're into furries, which is totally fine. Nothing's wrong with that. But I just want to make sure we're talking about the same guy.
There's no way you can say that guy is not sexualized, because it is. Because gays from my community tell me, oh man, this guy looks really handsome, really sexy.
I'm down. That's fine. Let's go with that. I always thought this was the Monkey King, but whatever. He's this guy. Okay, cool. Keep going.
Okay. So then we also have people ask why we don't have more representation in the video game community.
Who's we?
Most of the community, the LGBT community.
Always ask. You don't mean Latin America. You mean LGBT.
Yeah, but LGBT is around the world. You have LGBT
I know,
in Latin
of course,
America.
Of course. I'm just saying you weren't talking about Latin America. You were okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not just about Latin America. I'm going to show you now a fat character that is pretty nice character that everyone loves from Metal Gear Solid Substance.
Okay.
I'm trying to connect ideas. When I'm finished, you can put me in the graveyard, but I don't
want to put you in the graveyard, but it's keep going.
Okay.
Just go.
Thanks. Okay. So then you have something like this. Okay. So you have an intersectionality diverse character, a fat character, which is called Fat Man, fat and low. There's a phrase that I think is laugh and grow fat. This is one of the best antagonists in Metal Gear Solid 2. And he was already diverse. If we call intersectionality something that is not just LGBT people, fat people, people that do not look like a princess or do not look like a baby doll. But then I'm going to show you the transition of female designs before and afterwards.
Okay.
This is a character which is called Amnesia, and probably
That's
you know it.
you. Oh, there we go. I was like, you're not
Okay.
her, you old so and so. Okay, keep going.
No, give me a second. Just you can see it right now.
Yes, I can.
Okay, this is Amnesia from Tale of Innocence. For me, one of the best game I played in the last years. She's feminine. She fight against big guys.
Yep.
She cares about her brother. She looks powerful or empowerment, and nobody has an issue with his face. And she is not sexualized. So what I'm trying to say is the sexualized design has been changed, and it has been naturally changed. No one is complaining that someone needs to have bigger boobs or a big ass. People are asking why we see difference in the facial design. So I'm going to go and show you Ubisoft games and the last AAA game from the last 3 years.
Okay.
This is what they did with Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, the last Mortal Kombat, they tell the audience that they stop sexualizing female designs, but when you see the male designs of Mortal Kombat, you might think that it's not sexualized, but everyone is without a t-shirt, everyone has the big muscles.
Okay,
even
all right.
if in a fictional world they destroy these females, you can take their son. Nobody has a problem with extreme violence, but all of a sudden everyone has an issue. It's a female design is too much feminine. Let's go with what happened to Control.
Well, wait, I thought you were going to show me 3. Okay. All right. Okay, gotcha. Control.
I have to go one step at a time, okay?
Okay, well.
Give me a second. This is the main character of Control. You can see how the chin has changed. This game is awesome. I don't have an issue.
Christopher Waltz.
Yeah, I know, but that's a meme. Just
you mean the
don't
girl,
worry about
the woman on the left is the woman from Control.
Yeah, the game is awesome. It's from Remedy.
I haven't played it, but I heard it's great.
Okay, so if you don't see the entire change of the design of the female facial expression before the games I show you, maybe we are not agreeing, but there's something going on that they are changing the facial design. But this is just one game.
Okay, fine. Show me the other ones real quick.
Let's go how they changed Diablo Resurrected. They changed the facial expression. This is a mod. The mod is in the right, and the
let me see if I can
zoom
in my screen at least. No, I can't. It's you can't. What would I Google to find that picture so I can show everyone? Because it's really small, but it's worth seeing. Would you say Diablo? What's a warrior? What is her role?
I wish if in StreamShare this was pretty much easier. She's called Amazon, the Amazon.
Amazon, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so here is, if you look at your screen now, I will tell you, I personally find this woman sexy right here. Okay.
I'm not saying it's not sexy. We are not talking about
no. I'm just telling you. I find this one attractive. Your mileage may vary, but I like this one. Okay. This one. Cool. Okay. This one, I'm wondering if this is the one. So you're saying they changed it from this one to this one? Is that a correct thing? I know you got to wait for it to catch up.
No, this is a correction about a mod. We know how the main Amazon looks in Diablo 2. If you play Diablo 2, the original, you can find the pictures on the internet. She was way more beautiful than this one. That the last remake. In Reddit and everyone in Diablo Resurrected were asking why they changed their faces. Nobody wants to respond. The team from Diablo do not want to respond why they changed the facial design. But if I can show you the pictures, it's meaningful to me.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Because it makes no sense whatsoever if I can show you the
Oh,
pictures.
it's big now. It's big now. How did you do that? Perfect. Okay, it's big. Okay, great.
You can see it right now?
Yeah, it's big.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to. Okay. So we are not saying that she's not attractive. She's not. She's not have. She do not have sex appeal. We are saying there's something that they changed the facial design. People were asking to the team why they changed the facial design. No one's want to respond. No one's want to reply. This is a question, an honest question. Why a game developer, if it's honest, that has been doing a lot of Q&A, questions and answers, did not answer the reason of the facial or facial design of Amazon.
Okay.
But this is, let's go to another one. Is I want to give you an example. Every single stream that I did, it was with something called StreamShard. This is the first time doing with this application.
No worries, that's fine. No, it's working great. Okay.
Okay, let's go with this one. Give me just a minute.
Take your time.
Okay, you can see now, this is one of the characters from the last game of the Ubisoft game. I have a friend.
That the Legion, what's that, Watch Dogs?
Watch Dogs Legion, exactly. Okay. One game that, in a mistake, they make a character that has been in love with a children. I don't know if you know what happened with that, but anyway, that is another problem.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. I don't know what that's even about.
Okay.
But
okay, so what I'm showing, this is a female design, okay, that has been the chin has the same change. It's almost the same image. They changed the three of the bones of the facial expression of the characters. I'm not complaining. I'm just showing you facts that the female design has been changing in the last 3 years, especially in the AAA department of the Western design. I'm not saying that you have cancellation. I'm not saying you have to hate it, but I'm going to show you another one.
Because well, on this image, I have a question. So this image, this is a woman, correct?
He's a woman that I will show you. Supposedly, she has been passing from hormone therapy.
Okay, well, hang on. So all the other women in this screenshot, because in Legion, you can pick, I don't know how many, but there's lots of characters you can control, correct? So this is one of the many characters. Because I'm looking at all the other women on this screen, and they don't have that same, not that there's anything wrong with it, but they don't have that same chin, right? There's a woman with the little mohawk, the black woman, she's got a very narrow chin. You've got the woman above the lizard guy. She has a very feminine, rounded face. So you're just, right. So I just want to be clear. You're talking about that character is what? You're saying...
no, because there's something I was going to tell you because it was a surprise. There's no a simple reason. She underwent hormonal treatment.
Okay.
She, in the metadata, she went in a hormonal treatment. This is the reason why she looked like that. Okay. Great. Great. I'm not saying it's bad, but what you are seeing right now is a female design that has a underdevelopment hormonal treatment.
Okay.
Of course, the face has changed. Let's go to the another AAA games.
Hang on. What is your point, though? Here's what I'm hearing, and maybe it is an English issue. What I'm hearing is, okay, all you did in that slide is you pointed out a character to me who is a trans woman, correct?
You can say in the main description she's not saying she's trans. She's just saying that she went to a hormonal treatment.
Okay,
take it what it is.
Okay, well, let's just assume she's a trans woman, right? I mean, so what? I mean, what's the point? What's your point?
David, it's time to tell you to shut up. Let you talk.
No, I mean, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man.
What is your point about that particular slide, though?
because there's no point in a particular slide. I was going to show you each game and each game to the last game.
Okay, but what I'm supposed to take from that slide is, hey, Jaffe, there is a AAA game that launched last year that has a transgender woman in it. Is that fair? That's what
No.
So
but it's fair.
What do you want me to? Why would you show me that slide? What am I missing?
You are missing the chin, because I'm going to show you how the female designs have the same chin, the same idea of a female to male design.
Gotcha. All right.
You had to catch me because first off, I have, maybe you don't notice, but from a genetic point of view, I have an androgynous facial. Okay.
I don't know.
People call me that. Okay, perfect. So first off, before I show you the pictures, everything that you might not agree, I'm telling you. Maybe you think I'm lying. Maybe you can see in the chat. Transgender
I'm not watching
people.
The chat. No.
Okay, transgender people and people from different orientations agree with me. There's a change in the design of the female designs. I do not have a problem, but we should compare one you say she's a transgender. I show you a transgender from the Japan in this industry. Mm-hmm. She has more beautiful face, but she's still a transgender.
Sure.
And this one, I'm sorry if offend someone. I think it has a little bit of ugliness. Okay, and this is just an opinion.
But so what? Do you?
It's an opinion.
I know that, but you're the one you actually know transgender people, correct?
Yeah.
I assume some are better looking than others, correct?
Yeah, but they want a fictional world where you can find beautiful females or beautiful males.
Then go play those games. Those games exist. The world is not meant to kowtow to you. If the game, listen,
indie games.
Well, so what?
Games.
Look, man.
So you're saying
these games.
So you're saying that.
What I'm saying is these games cost $180 million to $240 million. If these games were doing things to push enough of an audience away, then they would stop doing them. But right now, these game companies go, we have a lot of diverse people from all over the world. We're hearing more and more people say, we like this inclusion. And we're selling more games. Well, it's nothing to agree. Look at the sales figures. They're selling more. I'm sure you can find me individuals that say, I don't like that and I'm trans. That's great. I respect that. But the money fucking talks, baby. If it didn't, I'd still be in business.
Yeah, but it's not just about money, because you know that people, especially in the pandemic and especially in the rate. I give you an example. Here in Argentina.
Wait, one moment. KX Hunter, David, let him finish. I feel like I'm in the goddamn O.J. Simpson trial. Let's go. It's hours after hours of evidence of not. You won't even point out what you're showing me.
Because I'm not a native English speaker.
You speak great. You speak great.
I have a lot of problems to speak. So
okay, well let me just that aside, this debate aside, seriously, I think you sound awesome, and kudos to you for. I hate how people make fun of people who don't sound good enough. You go fucking try to learn another language. It's hard, and I admire that. So I think you're doing great. Okay. Don't worry about that.
Okay, I just wanted to point it out, and I promise that then you can have your entire conversation after I finish the pictures. But
I just thought we were having a conversation. Okay, go ahead.
I have one reply. Video game sales, and you're a director, but it is not just about the video game itself. There's a lot of bad video games, bad quality games that sells anyway because people are buying more video games due to the pandemic, due to the restrictions. There are people that have an obsession of buying video games. It's not just about a simple choice. You have to know that because a lot of data shows that psychologically people tend to play and buy a lot of video games even if they don't have the money. In Argentina, for example, there's a study that people are literally wasting 90% of their salary, and our salary shit. We have like $100 60% of the people is poor, but they waste the entire money to buy a console. And this is not an opinion. Every people from Argentina, Venezuela can tell you that they wasting their entire wage in a console or a video game. It's not just about a good video game that sells. I understand that if the game sells, your point is, okay, they are doing something great. Okay, the diverse department is doing, or the artist or the creator is doing something great, because you are doing good character designs and you are applying different diverse characters. But there's something going on. Why do you think people on the internet are getting enough? Why do you think there's so much divide and so much discussion about these characters?
Because the internet. You want an answer or no?
You go out.
Well, you asked me. The internet is a very small echo chamber when you're talking about video game fans. It is. I'm sorry. The amount, there is absolutely no data that you can show me. I promise you. Do I think there are people who spend irresponsibly? Of course. Do I think people buy things that they shouldn't, not because they love it, but because they just want to buy another video game? Of course that's true. But there is absolutely no data to suggest that type of gamer represents anywhere close to the majority or even a meaningful percentage of the games that are sold. Just like there's no evidence to suggest that all these people complaining on the internet represent the majority. Here's how I know this. Because
let's go to the Resident Evil 3 remake versus the last Resident Evil figures. Capcom Resident Evil 3
do you mean
remake?
Yes, but Village or Resident Evil 2 remake? Which one are you comparing?
No. Resident Evil 3 remake versus Resident Evil Village.
Okay.
Literally, Capcom just fired 2 days ago one of the main creator and artists of the game, because one of the main complaints of the Resident Evil 3 remake, it wasn't just short. They changed the entire substance and design of Jill Valentine. They pissed off their own community.
Okay.
They literally piss off a community. You have to take care of your community. You have to listen to your community.
Okay, but let's assume that's the case. Then let's assume they did. If they fired,
they did. So
great. Isn't that the free market working? It's basically what you're saying is, look, you can shout till the cows come home, but and I don't have the same problems clearly that you do with these designs. I have Pornhub. Hang on, let me finish. I have Pornhub. I have women in my life. I also have, my point is, I don't need every woman in the game to represent something that I think is beautiful. Okay? I don't have a problem with that. Let me finish. So, I'm okay with it. But let's just for the moment, let's assume you're right. And all of the people who are complaining make up a big enough slice of the market that their complaints will be heard by these companies, or these companies will suffer financial losses, right?
I'm not saying that's exactly the thing. I never went out saying that PlayStation is going to lose money, or there was.
Well, then what do you want them to do? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Keep going.
Okay, let me finish, and I'm going to say I'm not going to change let's do something that it will give you good sleep. I'm not going to change the gaming industry, and all the complaints are not going to change the gaming industry.
No.
You say I saw a video that people move on. Okay, I get it, but let me just point out something different.
All right, let's go.
From a different region. One thing that you have to take point is that every region has different sales, but also different audience. There was a poll 2 years ago showing that each country has a different approval or disapproval of female designs in video games.
Yeah.
United States, they don't care. In the poll, they show that most of the people don't care as long as the game is fun. They don't care. In Latin American region, they care about female designs. In Japan, they care. That's why you have Japan female designs. In China, it's something
and I have no problem with that. Great.
Okay, cool. What I'm just trying to show you is how the free play video games are changing something that for me is really interesting to point out, because artists from all around the world, I say, are saying why this character changed. The character was fine. Okay, maybe if she had 20 years old, if she's older, maybe if she grown up, let's say your character, Kratos, I don't know how you say in English, has a good development. He grow up, he's different, he's more calm, he's more wise, okay, and he's in a different shape because he grown. But when you have a character that is the same character from the same year and something happened, the face change, people just want answers of why they are doing this. They just want answers, man. It's not about hating a video game, destroying the gaming industry.
No,
there's nothing like that.
What I think they want is they want one of two things. They want the answer they want to hear, or they want to rage. I mean, I'm not. Look, I was an open developer. I would tell people why I did what I did, but ultimately, I can't tell you why a developer chooses not to address it. But maybe it's because they choose not to engage with an audience online that act like a bunch of fucking babies. But let's assume that's not the case. Let's just assume they don't want to address it. It's weird to me because they don't owe you anything, right? Because you have all the power. You can decide to walk away and not buy their stuff because you think it's crap. And I respect that. I absolutely respect if Latin America has a vast majority of gamers that say, we really value sexy women in our games more than America. Great. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's not about sexy.
Attractive.
It's about...
Not ugly.
Maybe, but it's beautiful, attractive, or something in the middle. I will show you something.
No, I gotta understand. Wait. So you're saying it's not about sexuality, it's not about attractive, it's just not ugly. That's the problem.
That's the reason why people complain about the hypocrisy that all female designs in the last 3 years. I want to show you the last game. They are more ugly than before, but the males, their males are perfectly fine, and they do not have any problem showing no skin. And I don't have problem about neither. It's free expression. But I agree. I want to say something. I agree. The internet sometimes is a place that you cannot trust. This is why I do believe that the companies should treat consumers in a different direction and ask them more properly. I do not believe when the internet say everything is blue. I do not believe it. Same when everything is black. You have a point about that. So let me finish the last 3 games, and I give you the idea that maybe you are not going to agree, but at least
it's not about agreeing. I have an open mind, but I'll be honest, I don't think you're making your argument. But let's let you finish. Go ahead.
Well, okay.
And again, if anybody watching the chat agrees with gaming philosophy, get into the Discord, call in. I mean, this is not, if maybe you can explain it better. I don't know. Not better, but in a way that maybe, that I can get through my thick brain.
I'm trying to... it's really hard for me to use the platform, okay? This is another character that has the chin change, okay? The new character from Electronic Arts. I'm not saying she's a character that has to not exist. I'm just showing the same change of reaction of the chin. Okay. You can see it right away. This is not a chin of a female because I live, like you say you watch Pornhub. Okay. I have, I don't know, 8 girlfriends. I'm 13-year-old. I'm young. I go out to the street and I see good females. I see good attractive trans. I'm not seeing the AAA Western industry showing trans woman female because I have seen in the street. That's an example that I give you from the Asian perspective. So we do masculine females, but we do not give them. So we are diverse, but we do not give main trans character that looks female. Do you agree about that? There's no representation of transgender female main protagonist that looks female
in a video game.
Show me. Yeah,
I can show me any video game protagonist except one that even has a trans as a main protagonist. I mean, it's not like there's a whole list that you can choose from.
That's what I'm saying. So the reason is why, for example, you don't have in the Western industry a transgender woman that looks female, because I have seen a lot that looks more female than a lot of female design from the AAA department. So you call diversity, but you do not apply to these people because these people exist, for example.
Okay, but
so let me finish with the chin.
Okay.
Because they are doing masculine female. The AAA industry is making masculine female facial designs.
Okay.
And I'm showing you with each game. I'm going to go to another game. And I'm going to, at the end, I'm going to show you the change of Aloy. And I'm not going to tell he's fat. I do not agree that Aloy is fat. So let me finish.
Okay.
This is another example. And this is something that a lot of people get pissed off and do not agree, but I'm going to show you anyway. At the left, you have the main actress of Returnal, the PlayStation exclusive game. That PlayStation just say that it's one of the best new IP games, but they are not showing sales. So you work in the gaming department. Yep. You work in the gaming industry. If you think consumers think that every single word, every single thing that corporations tell us is true, I do not believe that.
I don't believe it either. I don't believe it either, but they weren't necessarily talking about sales. But that said, I don't think this game is selling all that well, although I love it. I think it's phenomenal.
Okay, you like it. Awesome. Free expression. Now tell me, you don't see a difference between the actress and the female actress?
Of course I do.
Okay, what they are doing?
What do you mean, what are they doing? You mean what's the technique? Why is it different? Well, the one on the left looks is brunette or black hair. The one on the right is blonde. The one on the left's chin is more pointed. The one on the right's chin is wider. The eyes are smaller on the one on the right. I mean, there's a lot of things I could point to that make them different. Just like I had Troy Baker on the show the other day, and Troy Baker looks nothing like Joel either. Chris Judge looks nothing like Kratos. So yeah,
but both looks masculine. But both looks masculine.
That's right.
Troy Baker is not the same as Joel, but you cannot tell me that the chin here hasn't changed, because this one is the same as I showed you before.
Sure. So let's say the chin has changed. But so what?
So why they are doing these changes of female characters that look more female? Because I'm going to end your suffering showing you.
I'm not suffering. I'm just confused. But keep going.
Okay. I'm going to finish with Aloy.
Okay.
Aloy is one of the characters that I always love. She's strong. She looks female. This is one of the pictures. This is not a Photoshop or a webcam picture.
Yep.
She always looked female, but if you know, in 2017, Guerrilla Game told to PlayStation Live, which is a website, that they didn't want to make a Disney princess, and they didn't want to make too much sexualized female designs.
In the new one, or you mean in this one? Which one?
In the older one.
Okay.
In the first. That's what. So what they said, and I have the website if you want to say.
No, I believe
they hire diverse departments.
Okay.
Guerrilla Games in 2017 by PlayStation Live said, we hire a diverse department to see that the female is not too much sexualized or too much sensuality or whatever.
Okay.
Now I'm going to show you and this is not a meme, and I'm not joking, and I don't want to make a joke about people that do not look skin or something like that. I have friends that have different sites and everything. I'm talking about fiction because it's important, because I know that people are laughing about weight, not laughing about weight. I'm trying to get a point of view.
Okay.
I'm going to the last picture. There you go.
I don't see it yet.
You cannot tell me that the picture I show you and this one, they changed the facial design.
Yeah.
It's the same
I mean,
repetition.
if
with the last...
okay, so let me say this about that. When I saw the trailer, I didn't recognize her like this, in the sense that I'm believing that this is from the trailer and from the game. When I watched the trailer, it would never occur to me she changed that much. But yes, that looks absolutely. If that's the main face of Aloy in Horizon 2, I would say yes, she looks different than the main face of Aloy in Horizon 1. Whether that's because of weight gain or age or an actual design on the part of the Guerrilla Games, who knows? But yeah, there's no doubt she looks different.
I'm going to show you more images that are all from the gameplay. This is not twisted. This is not fake. I promise this is absolutely from the game. Okay. You have also the chin change. So what I'm trying to figure out here is why at least the game industry is not honest with the game community when they ask why they are changing the female design.
I thought you just said they hired a diversity department and they didn't want to make a Disney princess.
Exactly, but I'm talking about the entire spectrum of the AAA games, because I show you more than 6 games, not just this one. Guerrilla Game. I'm going to show you the website if you want.
No, I don't. I didn't say I didn't believe you. I don't need to see the website.
What I'm trying to say is that it's not just Aloy. Aloy is one of the many.
Right. What you're saying is, I guess, I mean, your point is, you feel that's happening and you don't like it, right?
Well, Guerrilla Games stated that it's a fact. They have a diversity department.
But you feel the characters are getting less nice to look at, not even sexy, but less attractive to look at.
No, that they are mixing and they are looking more masculine, but at the same time trying to be feminine. Why you don't stick with the feminine design, and you can do a transgender design properly? This is why I tell you there's no transgender female design in the gaming industry that look really nice or attractive. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You believe that video games are as a way to escape and to play and to have fun in a different world, a world where we have nightmares, when we have to go to work, we have to study, people die, okay? So there's a lot of people complaining about different subjects. Why they do not listen to the other spectrum too? Because I'm telling you, you might not believe it, they're lesbian, transgender, cisgender or heterosexual gender, that they want a good representation, nothing forced. So the change of Aloy is only the tip of the ice. And maybe people are going to laugh about this video, and in 5 years, maybe they will say, okay, maybe this guy have a point of view. Maybe this guy is telling something that we should at least think.
But the thing is, though, I think you're confused, because I don't think anybody looks at these images and thinks it's absolutely clear, if you look at these images, that you have picked out the women in the images. And I'm not going to speak to the trans thing. I think that's a bad example, though, in terms of that from Legion. But we can talk about that later. But
I show you a good transgender character.
I don't mean. I think the example is bad. But but regardless, move that one aside for a moment. The other ones that you showed me, there is absolutely no doubt. With like Aloy, and you showed me another one where the chin looked different. So those characters are getting less feminized in those particular games. Okay. And so let's assume that's true. What's your problem?
First off, so why you do that, and you maximize the beautiful of the male designs. You don't have no problem whatsoever to sexualize males in the AAA industry, but at the same time, you drag out the femininity. There's a lot of female gamers that want to play with.
Show me a male in the latest Horizon Forbidden, what's called West or something, that is super sexualized.
I'm not talking about Horizon.
Give me an example. Yeah, give me an example.
Okay, Mortal Kombat 11.
All right, bring up the characters in Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay, let's go.
By the way, I'm not saying you're wrong about that game, but
No?
I'm curious in general. Like I didn't look at
Okay.
the
Okay.
yeah.
Don't worry. This is the male designs from Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay, let me see.
You might think they are not over sexualized, but these
I mean,
guys,
yeah, they're you know, they're shirtless and they're buff dudes. I don't necessarily think the team, if the team is made up mostly of straight men, and statistically speaking, that's probably correct. I don't think they were thinking about it. I think men look at this who are straight and just go, "Oh, that's the way that we view power." But sure, yeah, but I would agree.
So I'm going to show you the female chains.
I understand. I would agree with you though that I think you would be a moron to look at those and say those characters are not for people who are attracted to the male form sexually. Those are sexy. Those are sexualized as well.
Okay, so why you stick with that idea, but then you literally destroy the sexual appeal of female characters.
Show me more.
You stick to the sexy of the male characters, but you literally destroy the female designs from these same characters.
Okay.
So if you're going to sexualize one, why you not sexualize the same? If we believe in
show me something beyond Sonya Blade, because wasn't Sonya Blade done by Ronda Rousey?
I have more of some. I have more.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I would just like to see it.
Okay, I give you another example. I have. Let me a minute. There you go.
Let's see.
This one is called. I'm going to show you. I forget the name, but
okay.
This is one of the main characters of Mortal Kombat 9. Okay.
Let's see her in the new one.
Okay, let's go to a new one. There you go. You are not telling me that they are changing the female design.
Yeah,
I do not care.
I think she looks more like a monster regardless of what kind of skin she's showing. She doesn't look sexy, no. I mean, some people might be into that, but not me.
Okay, so why you stick to the male sexy design? Drag out the female design.
I don't know, but I don't care. I mean, in the sense,
I know.
Well, I know, but
intersectionality, feminist frequency, Anita Sarkeesian, Brian Abu. They say it.
No.
They say it officially.
They say what officially?
They say officially that they are celebrating that Mortal Kombat changed the female designs. This is by Feminist Frequency, Anita Sarkeesian, and Brian Wu. Okay, but they never speak. They never speak out about the sexuality of the male designs.
Okay,
so if you believe in diversity, if you believe in equality of outcome, let's say, why, for example, gays, homosexual, and heterosexual can have both good female designs, both male designs, and also, if you want, transgender design that look female and look male, because of course you have transgenders that go to the female spectrum, to the male spectrum, and you have transgenders that go to the male spectrum, to the female. But what we are seeing in the AAA market is only the female are going masculine. And this is a chain of reaction that has been going on in the last 4 years. I'm not doing an idea. And you might say, okay, it's going to change the world? No. It's going to change the industry? No. But why?
What character is that name? Who is that character?
I do not recall the name. Maybe ask
Jade,
the chat.
Is it? Yeah, chat. Who is that character?
I think it's Shade.
Jade. Okay.
I have 4 or 5. I have even 4 or 5 new games that have the same issue. There's a controversy. There's a contradictory ideology here, and it comes to critical theory race, intersectionality, and what people in the United States call diverse. You can be diverse in many ways, but when you force characters out and you only appeal to the let's say LGBT organization, instead of open the ideas to everyone, we have a problem.
No, we don't. We don't. We absolutely don't have a problem. The problem.
Okay.
Well, will you listen now?
Yeah,
The problem is your arrogance. The problem is you assume that the free market won't take care of this. Okay? If what you're saying is you are Legion, and again, I'm not saying anything you're saying is bad. I like sexy women. I like exploitation movies. The last game my last big hit, although even my last big failure, was filled with sex and boobs and nudity. Okay? Literally, this is the original concept art for Drawn to Death, which was called Stick Figure Shootout. Big old boobs right there, baby. I got no issues. I like that.
But
let me finish. I just joined the board of creative directors at Movie Games based on a game they made called Lust from Beyond, which is not only filled with boobs, it's filled with interactive sex and orgies and the craziest fucking weird shit you ever seen in your goddamn life. Okay? My point, though, is that you're not wrong that there is an audience that likes that. And you're not wrong that there are games in the AAA space that, for whatever reason, diversity or not, have said, we're going to dial that knob back. And we may not even dial it back equally for the men and the women. You're not necessarily wrong there. Your Mortal Kombat example works. You're right. Okay? And I can give you some reasons why that may have been the case, such as, you know, a lot of men in America are waking up to the fact that women, if we're speaking specifically about Me Too, have really had to bear the brunt of a lot of shit for a very long time. And so maybe there is hang on. So maybe there is an overcorrection on the part of men, which make up the dominant gender in a video game company, to say let's fix the woman problem, and it doesn't even occur to them there's a male problem. Okay, hang on. But the point is, though, all of those things may be true. Okay, but the market will take care of it, right? If there's so many of you, then the games will stop selling and the companies will stop doing that.
I get it, but let me tell you something. If you really believe in the diversity as a whole, you don't think in an audience only United States. You should think about Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Chile,
about all of
Japan. You have to think about humanity itself, not just a part of the United States.
Why?
Because you should say Me Too movement, okay? Because Me Too movement is an organization.
Well, it's not an official organization.
Well, maybe you believe in the Me Too movement.
Oh, don't you?
But I believe in the freedom of women, whatever be an organization or not. I believe in the individual. I believe in the individual. I do not believe in the collective idea. That's my point of view. I believe in the rights
but you agree that women shouldn't go to a workplace and be accosted or physically assaulted.
For sure.
Okay, so that's all the Me Too movement really is. Okay, so yeah.
I also don't agree that people get fired from their job for having a different ideology of politics, like happened in the last year. I also don't agree that people burn their houses from a point of view that, I don't know, maybe they go out and do riots on the street and people get killed and nobody say anything. They just blame each other's, but nobody blame the idea. This is why I do not agree that people always find the problem but not the solution. I'm not giving a problem. You are a good guy that has made a great games, and I'm perfectly fine that we have two different ideas of how the gaming industry has changed. You believe in the free market. Okay, but I just told you that
it's not that I believe in it. It's that that's what we've got. And it cures if you're right, if your argument is accurate, the market that we've got, which is the free market, takes care of it. And the fact that it's not taking care of it indicates to me that you're not right.
Can I give you an example? Because I'm going to show you, I have literally in this very moment 100 censor games by PlayStation.
Okay.
100. Yeah. You believe in freedom of expression. Why they censor Blue Reflection? Why didn't they censor Devil May Cry 5?
Because it wasn't good business for them. Because the free market works. Because ultimately, here's the reason. Here's the reason. You want to answer?
What?
Yes. Because think about it for a moment. Not we can take each game one by one if you want, but there are.
Yeah, I have 100 that they literally after the Me Too movement they censorship video games that people like. And you are telling me that the market has the reason to censorship all these games that has a community, Senra Kagura, for example, Seneca 40th anniversary, Terminator Resistance Sex Scene only censored in PlayStation, Labyrinth Life, Mary Stalker, Lovers, Dragon Star, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered Censor. I have 100 games.
You're not listening, though. You're not listening. You don't understand. You don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying I support that happening if it was my game, okay? But for example, when I shipped my games to Europe, there were things that had to change based on either the law or what are you shaking your head for? You're the one who's coming into this with not an open mind.
These are adult games.
These examples are terrible examples. These are examples of niche games. Think about it for a minute. Let me run you through a scenario. Think about it.
Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is a niche game.
Okay, the vast majority of those on your list are niche games. Okay, let me give you. Can I give you a goddamn example?
Yeah, but I have Persona.
Persona is a niche game.
They sell pretty well.
I didn't say they didn't sell pretty well, but they're not. Here's what I'm saying. Pretend you're Sony. Shake your head all you want, baby. Listen to me for a minute. Pretend you're Sony. Okay,
I'm listening to you 50 minutes ago. I cannot speak. You don't allow
You're
me
telling me you haven't spoken this conversation?
I'm not saying that.
Come on.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. You're Sony. And you are making a shit ton of money and you are influential and you're riding high. And somebody comes to you and you are Jim Ryan or Sean Layton or whoever makes that decision and says, hey, we have this game from Japan and there are these kind of Japanese anime characters that are kind of look underage to us. And in Japan, the age of consent is 16. In other countries, it's 18. What do you want to do about this? Okay. And hang on, let me finish. And he says, well, how many copies is it going to sell? He's like, not many. It's niche. There's a fan base for it, of course. But, maybe we'll sell 70,000 copies. And he goes, well, let's see. What's more important? The $6 we'll make from 70,000 copies sold or the PR nightmare we will have when Fox News picks up and runs with the story that Sony PlayStation is publishing games for pedophiles.
Okay, let's first off the example of Persona is because they thought there were two gays, two homosexuals.
I know that story. Yep, I know it.
They were doing anything and they censored anyway. But let's forget the
well, they weren't not doing anything anyway. They were going after a young dude.
Let's go to PlayStation back and what other companies does.
You don't want to deal with that. What you just said was wrong.
I agree, but let's really go and dig into it. You cannot censorship games because it doesn't sell. Video games also have an interpretation of artistic design. No, it's not just about money.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
There's a lot of companies that they're willing to lose a little bit of money.
Yes, and they can put them
in the audience.
Yes, but they can't put them on PlayStation.
So PlayStation is all about money. They do not care about artistic.
What are you, 5 years old? Have you ever heard of capitalism? Of course it's all about money. There are games that you poo-pooed a minute ago called indie games. There is one of the best games that came out this year is called Devotion, which is from Red Candle Games that Steam won't carry, Good Old Games won't carry, Sony won't carry because China says, China says, no, we're offended by that. They're like, you know what, go fuck yourself, we'll sell it ourselves. And they sold maybe 5% of what they could have sold. One of the best games of the goddamn year, okay? But ultimately... I played. Yeah, but Sony doesn't owe them their platform. Sony's a business. Sony doesn't...
Yeah, but I never speak about Devotion. Devotion has their own issue.
I know,
this
but
is an
what
issue
I'm saying
about
is,
a telephone.
Go ahead.
That was an issue about a telephone from China. The same example of Call of Duty when they showed the Tiananmen Square.
That's right.
And they delete the square after a phone call because that's what happened.
Bullshit.
But but it was bullshit. Okay, I agree about that. And I understand capitalism. I understand what PlayStation is doing. I'm not even targeting PlayStation. I just want to tell you the other side of the story.
You just
because I think
you're not targeting anyone, but you're talking. I know, but let's just keep PlayStation. You're basically saying that PlayStation needs to artistically or respect the artistry of the games and balance that respect with money. That's what you're saying.
At least if they believe in diverse, in a true diverse, because this is what they say.
Who cares what they say? You're the one who told me that you don't believe, you think it's ludicrous if you think gamers believe what the companies say. Of course they don't. They believe in money.
They believe not only money, they do political tweets. They do.
Yeah, and that's for money too.
Tweets.
It's a company. It's not a person. There are people there that believe in Black Lives Matter and people that don't. But Sony as a company decided when they sat down with PR that it's in our best interest as a company to say we support this.
And they did the same with the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
So in a moment of the conversation, you told me that I have no proof whatsoever that Sony PlayStation is changing these female designs because Magic, and it's not Magic, is identity politics playing. The diverse department, Guerrilla even said, you have an official statement by Guerrilla saying that they have a diverse department.
Yeah.
But
that's not the same. That's not the same thing. Having a diversity department doesn't mean that the diversity department controls the game. Now, if they've said that, that's interesting. Let's look into that. But they didn't say that.
In 2017, they say they were using a diverse department to look into the new law.
I know, and when I asked you earlier, I said to you, but does that mean that the diversity department can tell Neil Druckmann, Cory Barlog, Herman Hulst, sorry. Right.
I'm not talking about Nate Druckmann. You talk about Nate Druckmann. Let's ask what happened with Amy, the creator of the first Uncharted, that they have a contract. She cannot speak about what happened between the last Uncharted and Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
So I don't care about what Nate Druckmann say. Nate Druckmann can say whatever they want. It's obvious they have a good relation with PlayStation. Whatever it be, Amy went out of the company or not. Maybe someone didn't like it, or maybe didn't like what she was seeing in the video games. I do not care. That is something in the past. I'm only saying it's fine. Okay, sell every game that you want. I'm not someone that push the cancel culture or cancel games.
Yeah, no one cares.
I'm just saying that there's a difference. There's a proof that they are changing the female facial design.
But so what?
Many gamers, art designers, and people that want to work in these companies, it's not a betray, but they feel that there's something wrong going on.
Then go work somewhere else. Go play other people's game. Dude, this is why I'm saying you're arrogant. Because you sit there when I say it, and you go, oh, okay, Jaffe, whatever. You're not owed anything, right? These companies, just like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was shit. I grew up loving Indiana Jones, okay?
Yeah.
I obsessed over it. I adored it. I couldn't wait for the fourth one, and it was a piece of shit. Well, guess what? Steven Spielberg didn't owe me a movie. I paid for the ticket. I went in, I watched it, I hated it, I was done with it.
Okay.
I moved on to other things. Okay, so if what you're saying is, I like attractive things, I like attractive people, it doesn't have to be sexualized, I respect that. But there's going to be a company out there for you that will serve you. You're not alone. There's a lot of you out there. But Sony is saying, we appreciate that, but we're doing fine with this diversity thing we got going on. That's all I'm saying.
But that is a good point. But because at least in all, this whole conversation, at least you understand a piece of the idea that I had. Maybe you don't agree, but all I wanted to do in this conversation is that you at least try to understand what is happening in a lot of gamers' minds about these female designs. You have an answer. You tell me, go someone else.
Yeah.
But at least you are now understanding that there's a pattern that a lot of people are seeing and they are not liking. Of course, they can move to Steam, they can move to Nintendo. I agree, but that wasn't the idea. The idea was to show that there's something going on.
I don't think anybody. But no one. Very few people doubts that. I don't think anyone doubts that. I don't. I never did.
A lot of people are really doubting about that.
Who?
Because a lot of people are really doubting that. Why do you think Saself was trying to fight against you? Why do you think?
Well, because he's a grifter and he wants to make money, and anything that he complains about. I mean, because here's the deal. I've offered that guy. I've said I'll pay for a translator. You're saying things about me that aren't true. I don't really care. I know I know in Latin America, I guess, or in certain countries in Latin America, he has a big following. I don't know who the fuck he is. I've never watched any of his shit.
I'm not a friend. I'm not a friend of him.
Yeah. I assume it was just because he wanted to get clicks. I mean, I don't care. If he says something too bad, I'll sue him. But other than that, he's allowed to have an opinion about me. I don't care.
Okay, so can I finish so we can have a more friendly?
We can, but you literally asked me why did I think he was fighting me, and I was answering you. But sure, go ahead.
Perfectly. The main thing that at least you understand now is that I wasn't pointing out that I'm complaining about sexuality. I was talking about the idea of difference between beauty, the female design, and the facial design that looks more masculine in the AAA games. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I go and I move to another platform. Okay.
Okay.
Japan, because I have a lot of good friends in Tokyo. They are telling me that a lot of games, they're applying the same censorship that I'm telling you PlayStation. So it's not just PlayStation. Capcom literally take out one of the flags of the Japanese in the Street Fighter collection from Nintendo Switch. They literally censorship Kami. Kami is a Street Fighter player, one of the Easter eggs. And Tokyo Tecmo did a lot of censorship. What happened if every place that I'm trying to find a game that fits my idea is getting censorship, or it's not, or it's not sending to the consumer, no matter what the consumer wants? What I have to do with as a gamer? Move on. Play chess? That's the main question. You say I have to move on to another platform. What is the censorship and these ideas keep applying? Because I'm 100% swearing to you that transgender people and different spectrum, bisexual, furries, and a lot of people want to have female designs. I give you an example. I'm heterosexual, but I love to play with male designs. I love to play with Leon. I love to play with Chris that has a good bicep, Chris from the Resident Evil franchise. Maybe because I like the character, maybe because I can agree that beauty is something that sells, or is something that is good, or is something that you can put and make a meaning. But I'm seeing, and this is the end of the conversation maybe, I'm seeing a lot of cancel culture, Japanese artists, Latin American artists, people that want to make indie video games. Steam curators do not apply to them. They do not care. If they have a sense of if they have a sense of femininity, maybe they block the game. They ask to PlayStation, they don't want it. They ask to Xbox, they don't want it. I'm just saying that I hope more people have an honest conversation about what is happening with the diversified characters in the gaming industry. I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I just wanted to try to point out why this rage.
Right.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was saying the rage I can appreciate, but there's no cancel culture going on. What cancel culture can you point to that has happened?
Okay, you know Honkai Impact video game from the cell phone era and the Genshin Impact. You know what happened?
Genshin Impact, yeah.
Okay, Genshin Impact have a second game called Honkai Impact.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I don't know.
well, they literally applied cancel culture and destroyed the entire last season of the game, because not just the Chinese government was applying force, the same users demanded the game developers to cancel the event, and they literally destroy it. They cancel.
Okay, but
the
you're
event.
talking about China, right? I mean, do something that doesn't have a dictatorship.
Okay, let's go. Do you know the game that I just call you out? Deadly Premonition with a transgender.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I know it. Yeah.
Okay, you know that the guy has to censorship himself about this game because the people force him to change lines. That is not cancel culture.
No, it's not cancel culture. Why cancel culture? Cancel culture is like if you do something like if you go to your window and you shout out really negative racial slurs against black people, or anti-Semitic slurs against Jews or anti-Muslims, right? And then you go into work the next day and someone says, hey, somebody filmed you on YouTube doing that. We have to fire you. We don't want that kind of person working in our business. But a guy who's basically being told by a private company that he has a contract with, you know, we can't put that in the game that we're publishing. You need to change that, at least for our system. That's not cancel culture. I mean, that's business. That's how it's always been.
That's okay.
What do you mean, okay? I worked in the fucking business for 24 years, man. I've been making games since Genesis. I assure you. When Arnold Schwarzenegger said to us, when we made the last action hero game, he cannot have a gun. Yeah. And we said to him, but all of your movies have guns. He says, I know, but if you have the gun in a game, it's bad for the kids, okay? Well, that wasn't cancel culture, that was business.
You forgot Latin people. Do not forget about Latin people, because we are minorities by their own ideology.
Yes, but I don't know a bad word for Latin people, is what I'm saying. I know one for Muslims, blacks, Jews. I'm sure there are one. There is one.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot.
I'm sure.
But go for it. What about the cancel culture of the artists that do freelancer anime artists? We are not talking about something illegal. We are talking about, I don't know, a draw of an anime, and it's white, and people go out, literally go 2,000 people, attack the people, harass this guy to change the color of the manga or doujinshi, and the guy has to cancel himself because he has fear, because they threat him his life, because they are applying force.
Okay, well, pizzas. Okay, so that is
they are sending pizzas to doxing their IP. That is not cancel culture. Just because you don't like something.
Illegal. I mean, you can't do that. I think it's crap. I think it's terrible. But, you know, aren't you applying cancel culture? Aren't you saying, rah, I'm angry? Basically, cancel culture to me is, here's how I deal with people I don't like. I don't deal with them. Here's how I deal with art I don't like. I don't look at it, right? That's the whole point, which is why this is staggeringly weird to me. Is it's like
that's fine.
I get the fact that you don't like what's happening in the AAA space. I don't necessarily have the same concerns, but I appreciate and respect that. But what I don't respect, and what I find troubling and weird, is that for everyone else, it's not the sky is falling moment. For everyone else, we're like, oh, well, yeah, there's a lot of movies I don't like. I just don't watch those. So just go watch something else. And if you say, like you did, well, yeah, but what happens if everybody does this? Okay. Well, if everybody is doing this, unless we've been taken over by China and we live under a dictatorship, if everyone's doing this, it's because the market has responded and said, we like this. Okay. But I guarantee you're right. There will be a group of people that don't like that. And you know what? It's a great business opportunity for someone to come in and say, you know what? There's all these people over here that aren't being served. I will start making video games now for them. They won't be at the same budget because there's not enough of them to justify the budget. But I will start making...
I agree.
Right? So what's the problem? It happens in every industry, by the way. When I was a kid, there was tits all over the goddamn movies. Horror movies had boobs coming out their buttholes. All there was bush and boobs and fucking slasher movies, and I loved it. And as we got older and into the 90s and current, That's very rare. But you know what? I can still go watch a trauma movie, or I can still go watch an indie movie that's got sex coming out the wazoo. So what's the problem?
Yeah. No, I understand, but you gave answers, but I'm just pointing out something more ideology. So we went to the hypersexuality of the characters to something absolutely the contrary, but at the same time, we over-sexualize men. But we do not apply the same thing with women. And you told me that the United States had a big problem, and you are connecting the physical world to the fictional world. Because one thing I disagree is that you should, if you can make a sexual or sexuality female, because it's a fictional vector. I think in English is called vector, pixel, whatever.
Yeah.
That do not apply to the reality of the human species. There's a lot of industry, especially journalism, that thinks that they have to apply characters that look like real life. What is real life?
But I've heard that argument. I don't think you understand their argument. The argument is not that you're going to hurt Aloy's feelings if you call her fat. You get that, right?
I get perfectly fine. But
Okay,
it's a fictional character anyway.
Yes,
but
but
I get.
I know, but the whole point is that these images, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but their point is these characters permeate culture, and they influence people, and they inspire people, or they give people ideas. It's kind of like the Disney princesses that for the longest time always had to be rescued by the guy. Well, I know Cinderella's not real, Ariel's not real, Snow White's not real. Okay. But ultimately, if you are a child and you are raised, or even an adult, and you are surrounded by this culture that's always telling you through its storytelling, the woman is weak, the woman needs the man to be rescued, the woman needs someone to save her, that's what they're worried about. They're worried about the fact that you can't even have a video game character that looks like the video game players for the most part. That's the concern. It's not that they actually think these pixel characters are going to have their feelings hurt.
Okay, but I can tell you more than 50 games that the female is powerful.
Yeah.
Lara Croft, Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy. I can speed games Silent Hill 3.
I can as well, but I can't. I mean,
there's a lot of female powerful characters around the history. But you are saying that. But why the male characters keep going sexualized?
Again,
nobody complain.
Because most yeah, right. And again, I don't think you don't have I think you have a point, right? But I think ultimately we live in a male dominated kind of misogynistic world. And ultimately men,
the entire world.
Well,
you really think the entire world is the same? That there's no demographic differentiation?
But I do think. Hang on. I do think that there is straight men do have more power on the whole culture to culture. Yes, they do. Okay, and in that, it may have to do with the fact that women in that way have been an oppressed class. Males have not been an oppressed class just for being male. And in that, it just maybe hasn't occurred to men.
Jeff, I'm sorry. Go live to Venezuela 4 days. 4 fucking days.
Yeah, why?
As
what would
a
I
straight
see?
male.
What would I see?
Now, let me see. You are going to see what is suffering and painful, whatever be you are a male, you are a transgender, you are a female. There are places in this world that doesn't have to do with male domination. If you live in a socialist country and a third world country has oppression, or let me finish.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I know there are shitholes in the world that are violent and terrible.
Let me finish. Even if you are straight, there's no
of course.
Bonus. There's no bonus. There's no something. Oh, this man as a straight have more opportunities. In fact, there's a lot of people in jail in Latin America. In fact, in Mexico, 30,000 people get killed the year, and we are focused on what the gaming industry impacts in the culture instead of fixing the culture itself. I think that there's a differentiation.
You want PlayStation to fix the prison problem in Venezuela?
No, but PlayStation is trying to take their opportunities in video games and pushing a cultural appropriation. They say it in Twitter.
So what?
We are doing some. Why, if you care about the male dominance, why don't you look to the third world countries? Male dominance do not exist. male people get poorer and poorer and died. In the contrary, for example, in Japan, that they say that this is a Japan male dominance, they are going to die in 50 years because the females only want to hang out with powerful males, and no one want an attractive Japanese guy, and the education and natural system is going down. Japan, if they don't do something in 100 years, they are done. I believe in there's something, equality is not the same as justice. Equality of outcome is not the same as equality of opportunities. I get what you're saying about the male dominance. I get the transgender people get really bad and many people really suffer, but heterosexual people suffer too. Anxiety problems.
But they don't suffer because they're heterosexual. They suffer for other reasons. There's no, you can't point me to one culture where being a heterosexual man is a negative. You can point me to a lot of heterosexual men that suffer, but not because they're heterosexual men.
But you are going to change the entire gaming industry because you think heterosexual men has more opportunities in life?
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that may be the reason for your valid, correct point, which is it does seem unfair to have the women going through this process and the men characters are not being adjusted in kind. I agree with you. There is a double standard, but I'm saying the reason for it, I'm not justifying it like it's okay. I'm saying it may be because we have such a male-dominated culture, especially in all of the places video games, AAA video games get made. It probably would never occur to them. It would have never occurred to me. Like I never thought Kratos was sexy. It took my female producer to tell me she thought he was hot. And I was like, really? She's like, Jaffe, look at him. I'm like, I just see Kratos, right? And so my point is that, yeah, it may not have occurred to them, but it should. I think you're right.
Okay, but it's funny that you say that the market has to point out and has to do the dominance part. But at the same time, you're agreeing that video games, for most part, because I have doing the research, and the research never show 1,094 countries that this is a male dominance video game market. So
the research shows it is or is not.
That the market is male dominance in the console and PC market.
Yeah, it's changing though. It's 41% they just announced are women who own PlayStation 5.
90 countries. That data that you're showing is about 19 countries.
Yeah, but my guess is those my guess is those are the countries where most of their products sell.
What you have for what research you can prove that those 19 countries are the reason because those are the countries that sell better than the other countries?
I can't right now, but if I went and looked, it would not surprise me that they're saying, because they're also saying
I look at the data. There's no information about that. The countries that are showing, the 19, 20 countries, are because they are the most selling games in the country. They literally take out a lot of countries.
Did they tell you, does the data on the report that Jim Ryan gave to the stockholders, does it tell you what those 19 countries are?
I'm just saying that there's
answer the question.
Yeah, but you have to take out the...
Does it tell you what the 19 countries are?
I do not follow the question, but I can finish the answer.
No. This is you do this, by the way, and I don't know how much of it is English and how much of it is your arguing style. But when you don't concede points, you just move on to the next thing. What I'm asking you is, you're saying there are 19 countries where they say 41% of women own PlayStation 5s, and I'm asking you, in that report, do you know if those 19 countries, what are they? Is it Canada? Is it United States of America? Is it France?
I never say that. I said that the data that is showing that the male market is the highest when you compare to the data that the female market is growing up, the data of the female market growing up, they just take few countries, just 20, 19, and they forget about the rest of the countries. You pointed out that that might be the reason, because those countries are the ones that sell best or have a higher gains, but the information do not show that. But all I wanted to say is that if the market decides,
I'm saying we could find out the information if they tell you what those 19 countries are.
Okay, but if you live in a male dominant audience of gamers, why you will go against their ideas? If the market
go
is going
get a degree and make your own fucking game, then why go against their ideas? We're not short order cooks. Do you make videos that you want to make? Or do you yeah, of course you do.
I mean, I make videos that people try to target me and attack me all the time, because I try to think in a different point of view.
Right. But so you make what you want to make. Don't tell, the idea that why don't they listen? They do listen. But the thing they listen to the most is how you spend your money. That is the only language they understand. Well, what do you mean, okay? Like you're dismissing it. Am I wrong? You think they give a shit? You think they give a shit what your YouTube channel says?
No, you're saying that PlayStation follow the money. They feel that the game sells perfectly fine if you change the character design. You can move on and go to another place. I was trying to speak out that if those places are gone, well, there's something that you have to go. You told me that I can build up my own company, but the only
someone
thing that
will. Someone will.
And I fully agree. But at least the only thing I want to try to point out is that there's a change in direction of the femininity in the characters.
I agree.
That doesn't have anything to do with sexuality. Nothing more. Nothing more.
Yeah, there's nothing I disagreed with. When you showed me those pictures from AAA games, I go, yeah, those clearly are not overtly sexual like the ones that came before it, or at least even overtly feminine. That seems accurate on the examples you showed me. The only one that I did not agree with you on was that transgender one from Legion, but that's a whole rabbit hole. It's not really worth going down right now. But yeah, I mean,
because that game has some problems, but I agree.
Yeah, you want to take some phone calls?
No, it's fine.
No. I mean, there's people here who want to talk to you. Do you want me to bring them in?
People who want to chat with me,
as long as they Discord.
Oh yeah,
that's what I mean.
If he's coherent and
I will disconnect them if they're dicks. If you're a dick to this guy or to me, you'll get disconnected. Fine. Oh yeah, we'll just disconnect. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Let's see if these guys can get me in gaming philosophy, if they can make us fall back in love, because right now we're not in love. Gaming philosophy. We're not going to have a second date at this point, and I'm bothered by that. Okay.
No, I appreciate the time, man. You create God of War, and you give me opportunity to talk. I'm really happy that you give me opportunity. Right. I'm not mad at you. No, I'm
fucking around with you, dude. We're just playing. Okay. I'm gonna mute the Zoom, and you should mute the Zoom, and now we should activate the Discord. Okay. Natsu, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you are on with gaming or game philosophy.
I'm with gaming. I'm gaming. Hello, I'm Natil. I'm Vicky's friend.
Okay.
So we have a friend in common, and I have to praise you first of all, because you show up here like, English is not your
it's
main language, and I see that you were a little nervous, but
yeah.
I think you did well. Hi, Jaffe. I have to say that I admire you.
Thanks, man.
I really like your games. I'm working on a degree to be a game developer.
Great.
Because one of my first figures to follow is you, because I love Kratos and I love God of War.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, I try to condense this because I have to send some homework now. I like to talk about cancel culture in the game media, and not only game media, but it's on almost every media around. Like sometimes there's some actors like Gina Carano who spoke out. Gina Carano.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
She spoke out what she thinks about something, and then she get canceled. So for me, I can be called conservative. What will happen to me if I get hired on Sony or one of this big company, and I try to just say something, because that's the problem with cancel culture. It's not that you say something wrong. It's that you can say something that is not wrong, but for them it is, and then they say, okay, this guy should be canceled, like just for having
Well, I mean,
another opinion.
Well, no, I mean, she got look. I like her in The Mandalorian. I had no problem, even though I did not agree with what she said, and I thought what she said was ignorant and stupid. I don't need the people in my TV shows to be smart. And so I didn't think it was necessary. However, she's working for a private company. The private company has a reputation, and she signed a contract that said, we can fire you if for any reason. And so it's not that I think it's unfortunate, but I also, just like I was saying to Game Philosophy, end of the day, Sony would rather deal with a couple of, 1,000 upset gaming fans because a game did not get released in the West, versus dealing with millions of parents going, oh my God, there's pedophilia on PlayStation. So I think it sucks. But what are you gonna do?
But wasn't the same actor of The Mandalorian make a picture of the Holocaust, and he literally had no cancel culture whatsoever. He did the same as Gina Carano.
He also just got hired to be Joel in The Last of Us TV show.
So that is not unfair.
Sure, it's totally unfair. It's business. He makes more money. He's more valuable than she was. I mean, what do you want?
No, I agree.
Look, man, I would love to have less of a capitalist society in the West, but this is what people signed up for. This is what we got.
And hold on, can I interrupt you?
Yeah, of course.
Because the problem here is that this is not something that people are demanding, because this is more social engineering that's been happening, and media have been pushing this, because sometimes you can read some articles like people of this people like talking to about a group like Latinos or LGBT or any kind of group, they are demanding this, but that's not true. And it's happening on politics, and it's also happening in our social life. And media, as philosophy said before, you can read some articles about like Days Gone that they didn't play the game, and they gave a 5 to the on the review, and their argument is that the game is not diverse.
So what?
And so what?
Yeah.
People like me that I work and I study, I am not obsessed with games. Sometimes if I want to buy a game, I want to spend $60 on a game. I would like to go to some review magazine and see what people are saying about the game. Maybe I see like, reviewers are giving bad reviews about this game, so okay, I'm gonna skip it. And then what happened? That this is something that is not it's not natural, because they don't talk about games. They talk about ideologies.
Okay, but wait. The magazine, they gave it a 5, and the magazine was clear that they gave it a 5 because there was no diversity, right?
Yeah, but
so hang on.
So story, they don't say that.
Where do they say it?
They say something. Days Gone, a mediocre game, and by just reading that, like most of the people, they don't go to read the whole article. They just
that's their fucking problems. Yeah. If you're gonna go spend $60 goddamn dollars and you can't be bothered to do more than read a fucking headline, and then you have the gall to complain, get the fuck out of here.
This is
okay, so
people on YouTube are listening.
I thought that I was polite to you, but
you are polite to me. But I'm not mad at you. But you're describing a moron. I'm not saying that's you. But
it's not a moron. Look,
sure, it's a moron. You're telling me you're going to spend $60 on a fucking video game. Hang on. No. You're going to spend $60. You're going but you're going to spend $60 on a video game. You're going to read a magazine only to read the headline, make your decision, and then go, gosh, that's the magazine's fault that I didn't read the more than a paragraph. Come on, man.
You know what's a casual? You know what's a casual? Somebody who plays like a game for fun and they don't care about like all this shit around. And there's also people who only read the headlines because it's on news. You can watch. There's people who only stay with what Fox News say in the headline, and
I'm
also
talking
what
okay,
CNN say.
but you're talking
So
about
everyone's a
gamers.
moron. And
Well,
also that happens with gamers, because not everyone is a gamer that have all the time to be watching podcasts, playing all games.
no
There's
one's
people who are
asking you to
casual.
watch a whole podcast. How long was that article? How long was
I
the
don't know, like
review?
1 page.
You don't
or
have
2.
time to read a page?
I do. I'm talking about casuals. People don't
Well, I
have
don't give
the
a
time.
fuck. I mean, you're making people up now. Give me an example of people who were like, I would have, I bought it because of that review, but a page is crossing the line, pal. Don't make me read a page. I mean, where do those people exist?
Why do they exist? I mean, this the most of the gross of the people.
Okay, well, I
Most of the people that.
don't believe you.
Can I say something? This is a personal talking, or YouTube people are listening to us?
What?
YouTube people are listening to us right now?
Yeah,
Or this
yeah,
is
yeah,
in
yeah.
Discord?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
Yes, of
So-
course, of course.
Okay, so if you agree about the market that follows the line of the people who buy these games,
Yes.
then you might agree that, for example, the comic industry is dying and the manga is increasing in the United States
I think that's true.
due to the. That's true. Okay.
Well, no,
So that's
another
another example.
wait. Due to the what?
Well, dude, don't get upset. But one of the main reasons that people stop buying comics is due to the identity politics, or for example, artists that they are introducing themselves into the comic, or they are literally doing a deconstruction of the character, or changing the entire character that people believe. Like, you believe in Superman, you can do a side story of Superman, but if someone that is not Superman insert himself in the comics and you sell it as a Superman or Starfire, for example,
Yep.
people get upset. And then you have this increasing of manga that is getting a huge backlash because the media don't like people that is buying manga. But okay, you're saying the market is free to decide. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So we have the two options. I agree about you, and I agree about the market deciding. But maybe all I'm saying is that there's also one reason that gamers are not educated themselves enough to see what game they fit. They only buy games due to the E3 preview game, due to the E3 trailer. Of course, that is not the fault of PlayStation. It's the fault of the gamer that is not thinking straight or not doing the proper research to say, okay, this game maybe is not the type of game that I want. And I agree about that. I was just trying to point out something entirely different. I think we agree on a lot of points, and the ones that we disagree, at least we managed to cross the line, even if my English is not
Your
the best.
English is fine, dude. Don't. You have really good
Okay.
English for a second language. All right, buddy. I appreciate the call, Natsu. Thanks, buddy.
See you, man.
Have a good one, and see you around.
All right, let's bring in Paria. Paria, you were on with Game Philosophy. How you doing? Paria. Let's bring on Melina Khan. I'll put you back in the waiting room, Paria. We'll try again. Melina Khan, good to talk to you, buddy. How are you? You there?
Hello?
Melina. Come on now. Hang on, let's try one more time. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. Melina, can you hear us?
Are they?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're on, dude. Go. Are you there, Melina?
Hello?
Hello? Melina!
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great. Are you all right?
Yes.
Well, what's up? Are you listening on your you got to turn off your fucking you're watching the YouTube channel, right? There's a delay. Turn off your YouTube and listen to the Discord. All right.
Hello?
Okay, Melina figured out. Dr. K-Man, you're on with Game Philosophy. Go. Really? Bryn Peer. Brynnet Peer. How do I say your name? Okay, hang on. Gaming Philosophy, we're going to fix this. Hang on.
Philosophy's in the.
Hello?
Okay, hey, I'm moving us into a different room, gaming. Hang on one sec, bud.
Don't worry, man.
I'm not. It just sometimes Discord does this where after you take a few calls, you end up having to move into a different room. I don't know why.
Some sort of glitch or bug.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try someone new. Here we go. Dr. Kamen, are you there? Bryn Bripnir, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, what's up, man? What do you want to talk about? You're on the show with Good Sir Game Philosophy. Go.
First of all, I know I understand your point about women are less attractive on games, on Western games in specifically, but to be honest, I don't see why if this why this affects like the game in general, like what is this affect the quality of the game?
Are you asking? You're asking
Or
game.
what?
You're asking Game Philosophy, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's all depend the game and the gender. It's not the same playing Dark Souls that you can be whatever you want
Yeah.
as playing a story narrative game that the character itself and the designer of the character has a lot of weight. Okay, there's not the same. If you play Shadows of Colossus and the princess is not the princess, or for example, I don't know, Zelda. You make Zelda a more masculine princess. You are changing the entire lore of the game. There's some games that the character itself it has so much weight in the presentation of the story that of course the artist design has a lot to do. I'm not just saying, for example, near Replicant, near Automata, Resident Evil, Silent Hills, for example, the characters actually are the ones that they spend a lot of time, like the artists of my audience say, they do a redesign. Let's give you an example. Do you believe Metal Gear Solid franchise will be the same Metal Gear Solid franchise without the main designer, which is Yoshi Shinkawa? You know who is Yoshi Shinkawa?
Yes, I know him.
Do you really believe that Metal Gear Solid franchise without Yoshi Shinkawa as a game designer of the female design?
No,
of the
it
male
wouldn't be the
design,
same, but I think
Well-
the example is pretty extreme because, yeah, it wouldn't be the same because he's the lead character designer. But here, for example, in Horizon Forbidden West, the characters is almost the same. The thing is the camera angle that makes her look kind of different, kind of fat. Her cheeks are more thick.
It's not about fat. It's not about fat. About you can see the entire gameplay. But let's play the game that the camera angles are different. Okay, let's play that game.
Hey, are you? Are you?
a lot
Sorry,
of
real
people-
quick, are you muted on the Zoom call?
Me?
Yes.
Maybe I don't know. People can hear me out. I don't know. I'm in the waiting room.
No. On the Zoom, not the Discord. On Zoom, do you have your icon muted? Your microphone?
No. Hello.
Yeah,
Can you hear me out?
No, you should mute Zoom, but don't mute
Oh,
Discord because you're echoing.
Okay, now I can talk properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that of course Metal Gear Solid without Yoshi Shinkawa is not Metal Gear Solid. I'm just saying that some franchise need leading artists to create potential characters that they are not just for one playthrough. They belong in history. The designer of Kratos and the guy we know as Kratos, you will remember forever, and your grandfather and your daughter or your son will remember Kratos as the designer of the original Kratos. Of course, they can change in the spectrum of the new games, but if you look into the gameplay of Horizons, there's a clear change of design. I'm not saying to anyone, do not buy the game,
The idea of the discussion here was to talk about the differentiation and the change of the female designs across the industry, especially in the West. But I was never telling people to not buy the games. It was just another point of view, because let's be clear.
Yeah, you are not saying to not buy the game, but you're really making the this aspect of the game make it look bad, worse than it is.
I do not agree. It's just an argument, man. I will not change the industry, man. I will not change the game like the creator of God of War say it. I will not change the industry, man, because I have a voice trying to figure out something different and try to get a point of view. Because you have the 90% of the people that agree with you. You have 90% of the creators and the YouTube community that agree with you. Why will you be so mad that someone else, because we are one or two, have an entire different direction of what is happening to the gaming industry? I'm not going to end the game. The game will sell anyway, and you're going to play it and you're going to have fun. Why don't let other people have the free will of
I've heard that before. Where do you guys get the idea that people don't want? I don't care if you have an opinion I disagree with. That doesn't matter to me. Where are you getting that? Because I've seen people say that before. It's like, I made this video about Aloy or whatever the other day, and people were like, we should be able to say whatever we want about her. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Nobody says you couldn't. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I can disagree about the opinion of. I know that the women in the industry and Western industries are uglier and that kind of thing. I think I have the freedom to say that.
Yeah. So what is the problem? What is the problem of me making an argument about the change of the female?
There is no problem.
There's no problem.
Okay.
But,
we just don't agree.
Okay.
There's no problem.
Go ahead.
If we don't agree.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you that it's happening like you're showing in those games, but I don't think it's a problem. But I hear you. You're right. You're not wrong.
And another thing, that the example of Returnal, that woman, it's that image is fake. I don't know if it is used as a joke, but
that's not actually the actress, but.
Yes, she's not actually the actress. It's completely different. I can pass an image here in general chat to see the real actress.
Yeah, you basically have the wrong image, but your point is still valid in that the woman that they hired to play the woman in Returnal does look a lot more like the woman in Returnal. But you're right, though. She doesn't look as attractive, at least to my eyes, as the actual actress does. There's no doubt.
And it depends on the context, because you know that she's not young. She's on her 40s, 50s, who knows? Yeah. But she's not young.
Gotcha.
It's known that in character design, 3D mold, the mocap is not going to be exactly, the face is not going to be exactly.
I got you. All right, we're gonna move on, man. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. All right, let's see if we can get Cayman back in. Paging Dr. Cayman. Dr. Cayman, there you are, baby. What's up? You're on with Game Philosophy.
Greetings. First, greetings for Chile.
Hello.
Sorry, my English is not perfect.
Do not apologize. You know 2 different languages. You're smarter than I am. Go.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I have a question for Game Philosophy. I didn't get the point when you speak about Watch Dogs Legion, about the female transgender character. You can repeat or explain about more about that?
Okay, for sure. I wasn't complaining that the character might be transgender. The game do not specifically say that it's a transgender. It says in the data that she's passing through a hormone treatment. Okay, there's no connection that she's a full transgender. She's passing through a hormone treatment. What I was trying to show to David was that the chin and the whole face is pretty much similar to the new female designs when you see the bones that connects the chin and the entire face, the 40 bones that it's hard to say in English, but the entire structure of the bone of the face are changing. It's not about that she's a transgender or not. In fact, like I proved in my first minute of the intro of the video, you can make a transgender pretty much really attractive or at least beautiful, because there you have to define concept. It is not the same tell someone is sexy, tell someone is attractive, and something is beautiful. You can be beautiful but not exactly attractive, because if you wear, for example, a heavy armor and you cannot see your own legs, your own chest, but the face remains beautiful, it is not the same as say this character is attractive. This character has a beautiful face, but you cannot say she's sexy or she's attractive because she's full of armor. All I was saying is that if you take out the image and you put side by side the new female characters, there's something masculine on them. I'm not saying that you don't have to buy the game. I'm not saying you have to cancel your PlayStation.
About that. Sorry, I don't get. I don't think this is a problem. And I don't sound. You don't sound like don't buy this game. But the data about that, the character...
It's a viscerocranium. You call it viscerocranium. It's basically the facial skeleton of the viscerocranium is changing. That is what I'm saying, which is the flat bone.
But the data about the info about the character transitional is in the game, into the text in the game when you... Because the Watch of Legion has a lot of principal characters, but it's in the data when you download the game and explore into the data of the game. There is some info about that.
You play the character and the info is there, man. I pick it up about it's just in a gameplay you can see it. But I don't find a problem that she's transgender. I don't find a problem. It's just about connecting the ideas of the face, of the facial expression, and the viscerocranium that is changing, and it's making females look more masculine. But at the same time, you drag out the sexiness and the attractive of males, and you have some sort of contradictory ideas that I get maybe is for some cultural ideology problems with United States, the male audience asking something different. I'm just trying to point something that not everyone is pointing out. I wasn't...
sorry, but the problem is in Watch Dogs Legion, you pointing out this in one character, but in Watch Dogs Legion there is a lot of characters.
Of course, but I never say that Watch Dogs Legion is the example of a game that you don't have to buy. I take out that specific character to show you the face because it also showed the data that she is passing from hormones. And then what I did is showing you the new female designs that are not transgender, but they are having a mixture of facial expression between male and female. Because it's not exactly a 100% female design, but it's not also 100% male design. You can see it with a lot of AAA game that I just show you, and I have a lot of more. But you are right. I'm not telling you, and if I say so, I don't think I remember that Watch Dogs Legion has every character the same. I never say that. I think, David, if you hear me well, I never say that.
I didn't say you did. I didn't say you did.
Okay, I never say that, man.
No, my point was my point on that philosophy was just more of a question of, in that game, what's wrong with having a woman that looks a little more masculine versus some that look more feminine?
Nothing, because you have a diverse character that you have also female characters that represent the females. Yeah. I was just taking out that picture to show the next picture, but it was was done.
All right, Doctor, thanks for calling, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, let's do Boogster. Boogster, baby, you are on with Good Sir Game Philosophy, and he is ready to give you his piece of his mind. What's up, man?
Maybe I just want to talk. I don't understand like the attraction to digital characters. I don't understand how that can be considered attractive. But
wait. Let's be clear. You're not talking sexual. You're talking just you don't understand how something digitally can be appealing visually?
No, sexually.
Well, okay. I mean, I appreciate that, but I mean, there's, I'd fuck that Lombax from Ratchet and Clank, the new girl, the what's her name, the fucking.
Yeah, that's mainly like because I feel like that's kind of what a lot of the Aloy fat stuff came from. Like, I don't understand that.
That's okay. I mean that's a nice statement. I appreciate that. I would absolutely fuck cartoon characters if they were real and they continued to look like cartoon characters. Game Philosophy, would you fuck a cartoon character if you could?
No, I like human beings.
I didn't say I didn't like human beings, but would you fuck a cartoon character?
No, I will not fuck a cartoon character.
Okay,
if you are making an opinion, but that is my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
No, I don't.
But would you?
No, I don't.
Would you fuck a video game character?
No, I will never fuck a video game character. It's fictional. It's not a human.
Well,
I prefer real relations.
No. So you're sorry. It must be the translation. I'm not saying would you masturbate to one. I'm saying if I could snap my fingers and magically make, Whisper, I think that was her name from Metal Gear 5, step out of the TV and say, "What's up, Game Philosophy? Let's have the sexy time." Would you say no? Would you say no, thank you?
No, thank you. I prefer a cosplay player. Okay. Let's go to a cosplay player that looks like the sniper you're talking about.
Okay, so then Bookster, you and Game Philosophy are in simpatico, buddy.
Oh, I wasn't. It was just more of a general.
Okay, thanks, man. Was that your question or that was your comment?
Yeah, that was my comment.
All right, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. All right.
That was weird. Okay.
All right, let's try to bring in Paria one more time.
Okay.
Paria, you were on with Game Philosophy. Are you there? Hey there.
Hey, Jesse, you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a little loud, but go ahead. We'll see if we can make it work.
Okay. Sorry for being wrong. I just have a question that how can just a character being like male, female, gay, lesbian would affect the experience of gaming for him? Like, let's say the next Lara Croft to be less beautiful. Why should that change like his experience playing that game, for example?
Do you know what he's saying, Game Philosophy? I can't hear him that well.
I don't understand exactly, but I think he's saying that if I will never play a game that the female character is not extreme sexy or whatever. One of the main videos of my channel that has a good review is a game called The Medium, which is the soundtrack of the game is made by the same Yamaoka, creator of the Silent Hill franchise. If you see The Medium, and I can show you a picture, she looks female, but she's not sexy. She's wearing a jacket. But I don't play the game because she is beautiful. I play it because it's a really good game. All I'm saying is that why I'm seeing this change of direction of the game designs. Days Gone, for example, I'm playing Days Gone, and you can see a lot of NPCs that they do not look the same as the main characters, and I don't care. But for example, I play Nier Replicant. Nier Replicant is a hermaphrodite, and I have a really, really deep connection with that because I have someone related that has some sort of the same thing. Because, of course, intersexuality and hermaphrodite is not the same, but she's beautiful, and a lot of people play that game, and when they realized she wasn't a female, they didn't care, because she was beautiful, okay? That's what I'm saying. You can make beautiful characters and even make it diverse, because Nier Replicant and Kain, she's not a female, man. She's an hermaphrodite, but she's beautiful. And everyone agree about that. So why you can have beautiful characters too, especially in the West gaming industry? That's all I'm saying, man. At least beautiful. I'm not saying that they have to take out their t-shirt and show their boobs or do whatever position you find attractive or jerking off, man. We're talking about something entirely different than sexuality. I'm talking about something beautiful against something ugly. I'm talking about an idea, more like a platonic idea, more like a David Hume idea, if you want to call it. I'm not talking about sexuality here. I don't know if I can answer that. If that was
But why should that be important?
Because it is to him.
Because a lot of community people, but for me, it's important. I like good development.
Perea, I agree with you. I mean, to me, I like sexy stuff, but I don't need it in my video games necessarily. But I don't have a problem that there's an audience that says we want to be served and that's what we like. I think that's totally fine. But I don't think that, they are the majority in the AAA space, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I just don't understand. For example, I'm a big God of War fan.
Yep.
Let's say in the next God of War, they release that he's not straight anymore. But the game is awesome. The gameplay is good. Like, why should that affect me? To me, argue like the game is shit.
Well, that's a subjective point of view. If you don't affect, if you think that a good game, even with let's say a monster, you play with a guy that looks like a monster, okay, and you like that game, go on, man. But some people have, because they play a lot of games, and naturally, because I play game from the 90s to this day, I'm used to, and I was used to play with female characters or male characters that are beautiful or at least good designs. I'm not telling you that you have to play a game if the character is ugly, but I will give you a point of view. There's so much ugliness and so much atrocity in the world. There's so much things going on in the world. Why in the fictional space? Why in the fictional space we can have some sort of supreme values of beautiful or beauty? Why everything has to be grotesque? Like the same world you live, man.
Okay. I mean, then you're getting.
Gosh, why would you even care that much about how the video?
Because a lot of video game. Because why do you think the artist creator?
Video game. Sorry, I'm talking.
You cannot.
Because for its character, not for its gameplay.
How you can make a video game without an artist design? How you can make a good video game without an artist that give you the character? Of course, it's important, man. It's really important.
No, it's not. I mean, it's a good instrument, but it's not a major.
So you put a random guy that do not know how to handle designs. You create a monster, and as long as the game is fun, you play. Go ahead. But there's more story-driving games. There are more story-driving games that it's important, the character development and the character design. This is why we remember Lara Croft. And this is why we remember Lara Croft, and we don't remember a lot of characters that were created in the same era that David made God of War, and we forget about it. Character design keeps in time. This is the reason why Lara Croft reminds you of what it is. This is why Tifa from Final Fantasy still exists at this time. This is why a lot of game franchise like Samus Prime still exists at this time, because the female design is important.
No, but that's
you have people buying literally DLCs, and you have people literally buying. Man, I don't know. Go play Pac-Man, whatever. If you like, go play Pac-Man. I think in the industry in something different, man.
Perea, I hear your point. I absolutely do. I hear both sides. I don't think either has a monopoly, but I hear what you're saying. Thanks, sir. Thanks, Perea.
Thanks.
Anytime, buddy. All right, let's see. Melina Khan, let's try her again. Melina, it's Jaffe and Game Philosophy. What's up, pal? Are you there? Come on, Melina. What's happening, buddy? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go.
I think she's trolling me.
Yes,
no, she's not. She's not. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, Melina.
Yeah,
hi.
hello.
All right, we're done with Melina. Sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry, Melina. All right, this is Kusanagi. You are on with Good Sir Gaming Philosophy. Go, buddy.
Sure. Basically, I want to say that I think I understand the philosophy idea, but here's my point. People don't care. Let me explain. People don't care if the characters of first titles are looking ugly. If it is a new game and the character looks ugly, female or male, they don't care if it is a title that, if it's a character that looks like that. The problem, and I think that is the main issue, when you have a lore and when you have a sequel, let's say, a second game for a sequel, or if you have for example.
Yeah, no one, by the way, no one is ever, that argument, I think what you're about to say, correct me if I'm wrong, is that people aren't upset because Aloy is not beautiful or she's fat or whatever. There's a group of people that are just going, unless there's a big story reason she's different, why is the character that I love from the first game changed?
Yeah, I think that's actually the main problem, and it's similar.
Nobody's complaining about that. People bring that up like, aha, see, so yeah, you have a right to be upset about that, but I don't think that's what Game Philosophy or I am talking about.
Okay,
but I appreciate you calling, man. Thank you.
I'm trying. I did try, man. I did try.
Great. Hey, you did great. Gold star, baby. Gold star.
Hey, man, I gotta say that basically something similar to, I was gonna say that something similar to what, Netflix suffered when they are trying to make a remake of something like, I don't know, let's say Death Note, then when they make a movie about Death Note and all the characters looks like ugly and, they don't look alike, like, the original lore. And, when they change things, people will get angry. And that's basically what I was going to say about here. But you got the point, and that's it.
All right, man. Thanks for calling. Call back anytime. All right, we're going to blaze through these final calls because we've been going a long time. So you got your seatbelt on, Game Philosophy. Let's do this. This is Gizmo of the Connecticut Gizmos. Gizmo Hibiki. God damn it. What's up, man? You're on with Game Philosophy.
Hey, I'm doing good, and obviously you guys are doing good since you're talking to each other. That means you're in good health. So what I think Game Philosophy is trying to say about female designs, Potpourri, what was the other guy's name? He did have a point. While it doesn't matter if the girls are ugly or beautiful, I think that only depends on the kind of game you got. Because
sure.
If it's something like a first-person shooter game or a third-person shooter game, even if the girl's smoking hot, like something out of like Playboy magazine, I could really care less because I'm already gutting like aliens and shit like that. Right. But if it's games like Street Fighter or like something from Japan, like an RPG, I think the key to I think having an attractive female of any kind kind of matters because you want something good to look at, but not only that, it could also fit with the character. Because if you just have like a big, like butch, tomboy-esque kind of lady, and she's like very, very sensitive, and she's really like shy, and she's like trying on these girly dresses, it looks kind of weird once you see it in action. And same thing when you see like a very, very like skinny, very like small, like very petite kind of character in like say a first-person shooter setting, gunning down Nazis while she's wearing the same kind of pretty dress. It's kind of out of place. I think that's what he means. I think if anything, it depends on the game and the setting and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you're going to have
I don't know if I would agree with that, given how much people complained about the change to Jill Valentine. Jill Valentine was incredibly underdressed and inappropriately dressed in the first Resident Evil 3 or 2 or no 3. And then Capcom said, let's make it make more sense. And fanboys lost their minds because she wasn't wearing a skirt that you could see her vagina through.
Eventually you get to unlock that, but at the same time, it kind of fit because in a zombie apocalypse, you're not going to really worry about what you're wearing or what you're not wearing. So if anything, both the remake and the original kind of makes sense either way.
Yeah, because actually, David, she was wearing a dress because she was going to a date. The idea is that in the remake, in the original Resident Evil 3, she was going to a date, and the apocalypse zombie just pop out. So she was with that dress not because she was doing bisexy, because she was going to a date. But let's make an example, because I think this guy understand me.
Right, but the
If you
design
play Dark
comes
Souls-
first, though. The design came first. I mean, the date
but
didn't
also
come
is
first.
but
Well,
also
that's what I'm trying to say.
but also the game gender. For example, if you see in internet Dark Souls community, they make the most ugly monster Joker faces. Everyone plays with each others. Everyone makes someone like Shrek, because you can create the character you want. Dark Souls let you make every character you want. You want a female, you want something between female and male, you can do it. You want a fat, strong guy, you can do it. But when you have a main character that is going to go through the entire story, and then you change it from the sequel, and at least give me an opportunity to think about what is happening about these designs. Some designs have a role, and of course, I understand what David says, that a lot of people got mad about she was dressing like with a high pants. But did you know that they censorship the skirt of the DLC and they sold it in the Resident Evil 3 remake?
Oh, okay.
Capcom told to the consumers that they will get the second outfit, the original outfit, telling them that it was the original outfit, until the consumers noticed. I know you might think this is stupid, but they noticed it wasn't a skirt, it was just a short pants. And this is a company lying to you. And you might say, okay, whatever the fuck, I don't care, she looks great anyway. But these sort of things at least make you think, okay, corporations are being true to themselves, to the consumers. Can I at least have a different opinion? And of course, in a first-person shooter, I don't need a beautiful lady. Or you can have a great transgender character in a main shooter aspect, or not see her face. It will be impossible to me to critique that, because it will be intolerable. I think it's the word.
Intolerable,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's some female designs that are changing, and I don't know. I just wanted to have the discussion. I think this guy at least understand me kind of, and I appreciate your point of view, man.
Cool. Thank you, Gizmo. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah,
Hey,
no
hey,
problem.
hey, don't seriously, do not eat after midnight. You get it? You get it, Gizmo?
I get you.
Zing, baby. All right, thanks, buddy. All right, let me bring in shit, I'm always hard with this name. Let me bring in Inari.
Inari.
There you
Yeah,
go. What's
no,
up?
thanks.
What's up, man?
Yeah, no, I've actually been thinking about this issue today because it was brought up, and what I was mainly thinking about when you're talking about changing a design that already exists, right? So when you talk about either adapting a character or making a sequel to a game that already exists, which has been brought up, is if you're changing the design, right? You have to think about the creative decision to change that design and what that communicates and why they are doing it, right? Or if they're taking a model, for example, and they're putting them into the game, but there are like drastic differences to how they look in the game and how the model looks. You have to think, why are they making that change, right?
Okay.
And I'm saying in general, right? If you make the character if you're actually putting an effort to change the character's model to look less attractive, what does that achieve for the game necessarily? Because like if you make the character more attractive, that obviously achieves something, right? But if you're like talking about a real person, if you're facial capturing a real person, what does it actually achieve by making that character less attractive? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, are you asking what is it?
Yeah, no, I'm saying because you're generally said there isn't a problem, right, with them taking the characters and making them less ugly, or making them quote unquote ugly or
So
less attractive.
are you trying to figure out why would they do that?
Yeah, like why would they like what is not only why would they do that, but like isn't that if they're making design decisions, right, that are putting off a large portion of the consumer base that they otherwise wouldn't.
It's not. That's the thing. So
you don't think it is?
Well, sales will tell us if it is, right? I mean, but let's assume for the moment that those changes have occurred and nobody has complained with their money yet. Now, if they do, you're absolutely right. But the idea that the answer as to why, I think video game companies, at least these big ones that are, certainly they're corporations and they would love, money is always the bottom line with these guys. But, you know, the people that work there are real people, and they would love to sort of be responsible about what they put into the world if they can, if it doesn't get in the way of the money. And I think they look at it and go, look, you know, there's a lot more women playing games. Trans people are a lot, and LGBT people in general are a lot more vocal. And now we actually, you know, they're not in the shadows and in the closet. They're part of our community. Black folks, Latin folks, Jews, Muslims, all the, you know, it brings more people, in their opinion, into the party. It's a bigger tent, basically, because
my question is oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I'm saying is like when we're talking specifically about making a character that is already established less attractive, what does that have to do specifically with these identities? Because you can still have like a character of any of these demographics and I'm not saying that every character has to be attractive, but I'm talking specifically about taking a character that already looks a certain way and changing them to be less attractive when they already everyone's used to them looking a certain way. How does that?
It could be as simple as you know, the director of the new Horizon looked at Aloy and said, you know, in the first game, she was still too much of sort of a Disney princess, and I would like her to be more realistic in that if she's out there fighting in the woods and all this shit, she's not gonna, you know, that life is gonna have a little bit of effect on her. I mean, I don't know, but I'm saying
that's just an assumption.
That's right.
That's just an assumption.
I mean, that doesn't really make sense from my point of view, because if you look at the change that they make, like if we say hypothetically, because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really seen that much of the trailer, but if you said they made her chubbier, right, wouldn't that actually make less sense if she's like in a survival situation?
Okay, so
like,
we'll get,
are people who
okay, you tell me what you think the reason is.
Well, I can't necessarily say no, but I do think that generally it's about like I think changing the standard specifically around like whether or not women, like the expectation is placed on women to be attractive, which I understand, but the thing is, it's the same thing as not being applied to men, right? Like if you look at, for instance, a depiction of male actors like in games, they look exactly like their model, like almost to a T, and then you look at the female version and it's like completely different. You can barely recognize that they're the same person. Like if you take Mass Effect Andromeda, for example, maybe that's not the best example, but like you can see games running in the exact same engine with the exact same characters in the exact same game, and the male and the female, you compare them to their models, the male looks exactly like the model, the female doesn't even look close. Like
you have an example, and just to, because I talk about too much PlayStation games, but you have an example of Sheer of War. There's a female design that was drastically changed from Sheer of War 4 to 5. She was really like the facial design, and a lot of people complain, and I understand Microsoft didn't care. But whatever reason, what I'm finding in the internet is everything is about realism. Everything has to be realistic. If everything has to be realistic, you have to die with one shot. You had to die if you fall out of a cliff or fall out of a mountain. So they say, no, we need a female to be more realistic to the game. But the entire narrative structure and the entire game design is not realistic, because you're playing with dinosaurs that you can take out batteries, man.
False equivalency though, because you're talking about like something specifically related to like gamifying something, like you have to make certain cuts, but I'm talking about like from a design point of view. You have to say, like, if you're making a change to the design, what does this accomplish? And if it's not actually accomplishing anything that's making the game better, or making the game, I don't really think it's making the game sell more, then what does that really add? Like, what does that change really add? Yeah.
Well,
Kate was the name.
It adds a lot of things if the director or the creatives in terms of the game think that vision that they've been hired to sell people improves. And if it turns out they miss too many times, they won't get to do that job again. And somebody else will come in and do that job that will be more connected with the market. But I mean, I don't know what the value of the change is yet. I haven't seen it, but ultimately, the customer is the final word with whether they buy it or not. But I
can only talk about like my subjective opinion, because like when I'm judging a game, because I mean I think you have a very different perspective just because you've worked a lot more in the industry.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I can only speak for me as a consumer. Like when I assess a game, of course, I'm going to assess the designs of the characters and whether or not I think that, they fit and they make sense and are, appealing to me. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. But ultimately, that's why you have all the power, because it's both none of your business and you shouldn't care unless you're just interested how the sausage gets made. You should just care, do you like the sausage? And if you're saying you don't, I respect that. But
you have to think about what goes into that, right? Like obviously aesthetics and like the way
everything is probably different, dude. All right, thank you for the call, buddy. I appreciate it, man. All right, Nash, you've been waiting a long time. Nash, are you there, buddy? Let's make it all quick if we can. Let's blow through these. Nash, go.
Hey, can you hear me fine?
Yes, go. We're gonna make these fast, buddy.
All right,
Thanks for waiting. Thanks for waiting.
No, it's okay. Love you, love the show. Don't like this guy, but that's okay. We can all have our own opinions on everyone.
Yeah,
so
a lot of them don't like me either on the chat, so we're even. All right, keep going. Go.
All right. So it's a bit of a all right. I'm just gonna go for it. I kind of don't know what I'm gonna. All right, jeez, this is not good for my ADD. I was gonna say that I'm not I can almost agree with a couple of things that this dude is saying. I had a few issues similar to what he had with a few games like Wolfenstein or God of War Ascension, where the character I liked how they looked in previous games, but then when they came out in these sequels, I'm like, oh, there's something off about this version. I'm not a big fan. Took me a while. I still played those games, and I did end up liking them. Ascension a little less, but the second Wolfenstein really, really good. But there's a thing that I do understand where okay, you can dislike this redesign of a character, but there's this weird kind of conspiracy theory that he throws out.
A lot of these guys do. They think there's an agenda. They think, I mean, ultimately that's where all this is going. Is it sounds like these people, and I'm not saying gaming is this way, but I'm looking on the chat right now, and I'm just like, there's not some big secret cabal of people that meet in California and say, let's make women ugly, because secretly we're all being led by. I mean, I don't know how. Where this
okay, let me answer please.
Yeah, go.
First of all, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy of someone I don't know, killing a goat in a Illuminati in some dark place in Europe. Okay, some monks trying to change the world and the global control or the world globalization. I'm just saying there's a point. You have Me Too movement inside PlayStation. This is a fact. You can search it on Google. Me Too as an organization, and I'm not saying that they are bad or good. They have their politics and they have their directions. PlayStation follow the direction of Me Too. At the same time, they are the ones that make the first-party games, or at least they have development budget or help these developers, whether it be directly or indirectly. At the same time, Guerrilla Games, you can find in a Google, man. They said, we hire diversity department to fix out.
But we like that. Don't you get it? We like
that. But that's not a conspiracy. That's not all I'm saying. If a company hire a diversity group to change a female design, whatever you like it or not, I'm just saying that this is a diversity group that is helping or doing an action to change the design of the character. You can find it on Google, man. Just put.
So what?
That is not a conspiracy. Where's the way that I'm saying that it's a conspiracy?
No, you're not. I said that you're this guy in the chat. They're saying it's an agenda. I didn't say you were saying it was an agenda. All right, Nash. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right, guys.
Sorry, bud. All right, let us. We're whittling through these. This is the last chance we're going to give you, Melina Khan. Are you there?
Okay.
This is it. All right. In the meantime, let's bring on Zim. Zim, you are on with Game Philosophy. Go.
Yeah, man. When I talk about this with casuals and non-gamers, they think it's silly. It's kind of like a waste of time. But when I think about it myself, I think nobody tries to uncover some sort of agenda or diversity group behind changing Chris Redfield's face like 5 times. But Guerrilla Games has like high-tech capture cameras and all that, super imaging, high quality cameras and all that. And I was thinking about, Hannah Hofstra is the model for Aloy. Now, could it be something as simple as Hannah Hofstra just gained weight over the past couple years, and instead of editing her face and all that, the director was like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, I mean, it could be, but frankly, again, like I said earlier on this evening, Kratos doesn't look like Chris Judge, and
I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay, Kratos doesn't look like Chris Judge, Joel doesn't look like Troy Baker. So if it turns out that the actress who played the role gained weight and the game didn't work.
Well, I mean, the facial. Well, the lady that plays her voice is Ashley Birch. But the face model
I know.
is after
But what I'm saying is that's an easy thing to fix, though. That's not a big deal. If they want to say, let's make her a little skinny, that's not a problem.
That wouldn't be like, unethical or some shit like that. Or,
no. I mean, they may not want to do it. That may be different, but I don't think it's a technical problem. But I mean, ultimately, look, you're talking about a game that probably cost over $180 million. If marketing, and trust me, marketing, PR, all these guys have buy-in at that level of financial investment. And so I'm almost certain that it's not like everybody hated the game character, but the director's like, but I don't want to insult the lady because she gained 20 pounds. I don't think that's not really happening. All right, Zim. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, bro. Joaquin, Ron, whatever your last name is.
I like your pronunciation, bro. Where are you from?
I'm from Virginia.
Okay, cool. Nice. Nice to meet you. I'm trying to say something that is not connected to the industry, but you say, Chef, that the marketing team knows their audience. Sometimes not. I give you an example. Netflix make a remake of an anime called Saint Seiya, okay, which was one of the most progressive animes ever in the 90s, because you have a character that he's sort of feminine. She's called Shun, okay. She's the representation of Andromeda star, and he actually has a scene that is literally like almost sexual scene. He's really powerful, but at the same time he's really feminine. And what Netflix did, he literally erased the masculine character and make her female. What happened next? The entire community fall apart against Netflix. The entire community didn't like it, and Netflix didn't care and keep moving. Sometimes corporations do whatever they want, whatever the consumer like it or not, because they knew the marketing department. Because if you know Saint Seiya or you ever watch it, you know, if you're a PR marketing, that if you are going to do that change, it's going to make fall apart the entire franchise, and they did. So sometimes the PR marketing screwed up. It's not like they are gods.
No, that's not accurate. Your story is accurate. Your conclusion is not accurate. The idea that you think what they did was they gambled, and maybe they lost the gamble, but they looked at the fan base for that anime and they said, you're not big enough for the money that we're spending. We need more people. And that's what I don't think a lot of you guys understand. It's you're not that big. When they're spending this kind of money, they need a lot more people to buy in. And there are things that hardcore fans of things will accept and even embrace. And then the average person just watching something in Oklahoma is like, what's that? That's weird. I don't like that. Right? And so they'll change it. And their gamble is that there are more of those people that will respond positively to the change than there are not. Now, it doesn't mean they get that right. They absolutely get that wrong sometimes. But it's not because they're sitting there going, fuck the consumers that like this. They're going, we're a business. We think more people will like this than that. Coke didn't change their formula because they wanted it to be shit. They thought more people would like it. They were wrong.
Hey, let me throw this at you, Jeffy. When I was watching TC Carter talk about him not being in the new God of War, he was saying that they wanted a bigger guy to do the mocap and do the voice at the same time. They were saying, well, he's like a slender guy and he moves a little more with a little more finesse. So that's why they picked Chris Judge over him. I'm wondering if them changing or slimming Hannah Hoffman's face, would that sort of change the way the performance will look?
That's that's up to actors and actresses and directors. I mean, for all I know, Corey genuinely felt, even though you could have a different body playing the character than the face, Corey felt strongly about one thing, whereas the director of Horizon might have felt strongly about. There is no, at that point, you're getting into sort of why people make creative decisions, and you'd have to ask the individual. All right, buddy. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. Thanks for waiting. All right. This is Caesar from Planet of the Apes. Caesar, the monkey. Are you there?
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
You hear me?
I can hear you. Hey,
Well,
Game Philosophy, you got to mute your Zoom again.
Let's go. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Maybe.
I think about somehow right. I mean, what Jeff says is capitalism. If the game keeps selling, no matter if the characters don't like some of you, I mean, they won't stop making it. And with philosophy,
Yeah. I agree. You're saying that even if the character design is ugly and the game sells, they are going the same route. It's basic mathematics or basic logic. I know that. I'm just trying to point out a more constructive idea to figure out what was going on. Nothing else. Like maybe let's make an example. If you make the character design of Horizon 2 and Horizon 1 never existed, and this is the character that they present in the first time, probably, I'm saying probably, maybe not too many people will be so much angry or memes or use an opportunity to make money, like you said, or trolling or whatever reason. But maybe the question was why these sequels have so many changes in the female designs, but in the male designs not so much. I think Horizon, if it's a good game and you like it, play it, man. I'm not. I'm one.
Yeah,
I have 30,000 subscribers, man. I'm not going to change the world. In fact, I'm very grateful that David gave me the opportunity to talk, because no one in the Spain community wanted to have a discussion, and I wanted to have a civil discussion, even if I disagree or agree. And I also really like your games, man.
I've enjoyed chatting with you guys. All right, Caesar, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, man.
Wait. I got another thing to say.
Real quick.
Well, I think philosophy is right about when PlayStation moved from Japan to California.
Yeah.
The ideology was very different, so it actually changed a lot of things, right?
Sure, of course. But it's not.
Well, to start.
Yeah, ultimately, you've got people in the. Go ahead, finish up your thought, Caesar.
Well, an example, DC state censors certain characters because they was too sexual, but they also allow a sexual scene in The Last of Us 2. It's uncensored, you know?
Well, look, I think there's two words that maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know. But a lot of gamers use, and they use them in a way that is just not very bright. The first word is censorship, and the second word is agenda. Okay, every decision ever made by a private company, you could call censorship. Okay, because ultimately this is not the government coming in and telling Sony what they can and can't do. This is Sony doing, or any business doing, what they've always done, which is saying we're going to make decisions based on what our North Star goal is. And in Sony's decision, whether you believe it or like it or not, they felt that decision to sort of, in your words, censor, in my words, make a call about what content could be allowed on their platform was good or bad for their business. Now, that's not censorship. Censorship would be if Devil May Cry, if Capcom basically tried to put the game out in, at least in America, in some kind of public forum, and the government or the cops stepped in and said, no, you can't do this. But yes, that's not censorship. That's business. Every decision is a decision against something else. That's how it works. And the agenda idea is bizarre, because an agenda implies that there's some kind of hierarchy or communication where you're being given a document or a video or a meeting that happens in the middle of the night, in some speakeasy, where it's like, here are the things that you guys have to do to keep your job. And it doesn't exist. I talk to these people. I talk to the directors. I talk to the writers. I talk to the executives. I was in that industry for 25 years. That doesn't happen. So
I agree about that, because maybe some people may misunderstand when, for example, let's say you are an artist, you wanted to have a good job in Naughty Dog, okay, but you draw sexy females, okay, and you have a really good career and a really good history of art design.
Okay.
When you enter, probably those guys that are making different type of female and male characters, they're going to say, no, I don't like the way you're drawing, and this is not an agenda. This is people that have their own idea and their own policies, and they are dragging you out. I understand the difference. I wasn't pulling an agenda versus ideology type. I was trying to figure out that data. But what strikes me the most, and I'm going to say it because it's in United States, say it is really dangerous, because if you say something like an agenda, you're a QAnon conspiracy, or you're a alt-right wing, or you are someone who wants the world burned, or you hate Jewish people, or you hate transgender people. I love video games. Okay. I do not care about politics. I do not care about my own politics in my own country. But I see censorship and some changing designs that go in the organization of the Me Too movement. And when I see papers, for example, one of the papers of Street Fighter V that is telling that if you play with a sexy girl, the probability of doing harassment in the internet is by 50%.
The probability of doing what?
Harassment or harass someone. It's 15%. But if you know, David, when you do those data, you have to try it different times. Mm-hmm. If you have a David Schaaf theory, you have to apply it in the same way with different people in order to function and say, okay, this is working. Okay. It was just one data. It was time with Anita Sarkeesian, and it was made by the Me Too movement by only 80 people. You can find it. Go search Street Fighter analysis of sexuality.
Okay,
and
so what?
What was showing is like they were misrepresenting numbers to then the media corporation, because I see it with my own eyes. Hobby Consolas took those analyses and said, see, can you see now? Video games had to change. Sexuality had to change, because we can change the world. If less female designs are sexualized, the world is gonna be better. And I do not agree about that, because it's fictional and it's not the same as real state human beings, at least from my perspective.
Okay, all right, but I don't think it's an agenda. I think Sony got in bed with the Me Too movement. They agree with the Me Too movement. They think there's money in agreeing with the Me Too movement. And that's, that's their business model. I don't happen to agree with a number. I think Xbox is brilliant when it comes to Game Pass, but I think they're horrible when it comes to, executive management of product development. But it's not my company. I'll just go shop somewhere else. All right. Caesar, thanks, buddy. All right, last 3 calls, actually last 2 calls. PlayStation Gamer, if we don't get Melina on the line, you are it, baby. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, what's up, man?
Just want to say this is my first time watching your show, actually, and I really like it. So.
Well, I appreciate that. We'll come back anytime. We'll always have you, buddy.
Okay, so I just want to say about this whole, is there an agenda to make women ugly in video games? I think it's more of a progression of technology. Now where we can see more facial animations, we can see more details in the face, and I think that's what this really is. I don't think there's an agenda to make women ugly, because it just seems illogical.
So how you find that Death Stranding actor is accurate portrait in the Death Stranding game?
Well, that's because the idea behind
the same. he looks basically the same. He's using the same engine as Horizon. I'm using a comparison with the same engine, and you can see that the actor and the real life character of Death Stranding is almost the same. And in this case, with the same engine, it is basically changing the entire facial design. How you can say that Death Stranding using the same engine that Horizon is not changing the formula of the male design, but in this case is changing because technology or decision making of technology. I'm just replying to you.
I think the whole thing with Death Stranding is that the idea was to, like, oh, you know that face. Oh, that's Norman Reedus. Oh, that's, Jeff Keighley. So it's like it's a little cameo for the fans to be happy. Like, oh, I know that guy. I get that inside reference. And maybe Horizon 2's using a more evolved version of the Decima engine, and it's allowed to do more of that. And Death Stranding's using an older version.
But but do you see the gameplay and how the facial design is literally turning down, and the face? I don't have a problem if she has a chubby is the name in English of chubby face.
Yeah,
if she has a chubby face, okay, but it's not the same face as the first one. And if you are making an argument that technology is literally doing an improvement, at least let me tell you that if the case is that this is technology, at least let me tell you that maybe technology is not working, because it seems that we are evolutionary in technology, but the female design are more ugly than ever. So we are going forward in technology.
Let's be fair. Beauty is the eye of the beholder. So what's ugly to you might not be ugly to me, or the next guy 20 miles away.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of philosophy and philosopher and scholastics do not agree. They think that art has an objective point of view, and this is the reason why you can have different portrait of quality, and this is the reason why you can say Superman 64 is shit and God of War is a good game. Not just in the gameplay department, but also in the artistic design. You can see a paper white, and then you see the Mona Lisa, and you can have an objective truth that Mona Lisa is a better painting, because this is objective art. You have subjective and objective art, and it's not something that I'm inventing myself. There's a lot of people that know more than me that they say the same, but I'm just replying to you, man.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate the call.
Thank you for having me on the show, David.
Anytime. Come back anytime, buddy.
I think I have to work tomorrow, Chef.
Okay. No worries. Let's see with Melina. Melina, this is your last chance. Nah, she's not. We'll figure it out, buddy. So on the screen right now, I just want to let you know, though, Game Philosophy, that's Ninja. That's Ninja from Drawn to Death. Drawn to Death failed spectacularly, but it was filled with big tits and sex and bad language and all the stuff that you say, or at least the chat says there's an agenda against. Sony never came to me once. The only thing Sony didn't let me do was put Jesus Christ in the game because they were worried we were going to get a lot of people being offended. But other than that, we got to do what we wanted. All right, here's what I'm going to do for people who are watching the show. So first off, let's wrap it up between you.
Big tits, sex.
Okay, let me mute this real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's end this part right here. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Rob the Mod. Okay, so first off, Game Philosophy, we don't agree on a lot when it comes to this issue. And our argument styles are different. But I very much appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on. Seriously, I don't know why people who speak more than one language apologize about their language. It really is an incredibly impressive thing, and I appreciate you doing it. But yeah, I think you're just fucking wrong, and you think I'm just fucking wrong. And you know what? We can still love each other as humans and as gamers and as people who just want to have a good goddamn time while we're here. So I hope you didn't take any of it personal. I hope you'll come back on and chat. And I'm sorry we kept you so long, but I enjoyed the conversation with you, buddy.
In fact, I have a good time. I just knew the creator of God of War, so even if we have disagreement, it was a really good chat. We speak a lot of topics, and thank you very much to expand, at least to extend your point of view and see the Latin American audience. one thing that I could say is that no matter what the chat say, because the chat also is targeting me, I have a good discussion. I really enjoy it, and I hope I don't know what is the type of career that you are going to find from now on, but I hope everything you might want to do, I hope is going to do well, and hope you can have more conversation with people with different ideas.
And by the way, just so
you
know,
so much,
the next game that my name will be in the credits for is a game that is filled with tits and ass and sex. Just so you know, I can't tell you what it is, but when you see my name in a credit of a video game next, you will see which side of the bread my bread is buttered on. I'm a fan of all that stuff. I just think that you know what I think. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'll let you go, Gaming Philosophy, because you got to get up. But I'm going to stay on the Zoom because I know there's some super chats I want to get to, and there are still some people that are in the chat that want to say some things, and I want to address you guys. So for now, though, Gaming Philosophy, thank you, buddy. I very much appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Anytime if you want to have another conversation, I will be very happy.
Absolutely.
See you, man. Take care.
All right.
Take care.
Okay, so let me get to some super chats real quick. And I'm sorry I couldn't get to them on the show, but that was that conversation. I appreciated. It was kind of all over the place, and it went really long, and I didn't want to hold him here any longer because he gave us a lot of his time, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I did not put Jesus in God of War 1. What are you talking about, you old so-and-so? Okay, let me get to the super chats first, and then I will get to the actual chat over there. Okay, first one, I'm going backwards. Omega Zero, thank you, buddy. He says, nobody mentions what happened to the last night. You're talking about the game, forget the guy's name. I follow him on Twitter. We've talked on Twitter back and forth. They're still making the last night. It looks fucking awesome. It is a 2D, sort of pixel cyberpunky adventure thing. And it looks great. So my understanding is there were some people that were upset. I don't remember what they were upset about, but that game is still in production, and hopefully it'll come out sooner than later because it looks fucking great, and I love games like that. Shay, hey buddy, he says, who the fuck would skip Horizon 2 because of the chin? There were some people, Tim Soret, that's right, Cooper, thank you, buddy. There were some people in the chat that were kind of getting a little confused by just how much Game Philosophy obsessed over chins, man. But look, maybe that's his thing, right? Maybe that's his, that's his kink. I don't fucking know. But anyway, all right, thanks for that, buddy. But I understand what you're saying. Okay, so Truth Teller, agree with you, Jaffe. It doesn't matter if females have male chins. We're taking this too far. It's subjective. It's subjective, and I do respect the fact that Game Philosophy has a dog in that fight. It's just, I don't agree with it, but, I support his right to have that view. But I hear you. For me, it's too far. All right, this is Luxecutioner, I think. How can one gender oppress the other? Equality, competent groups that are equal in size cannot exist in a state of oppressed. No, that's really just simply not true. There is a number of, I feel lightheaded. Whew, I gotta get some air. There's a number of, examples of where in a society like America, that we absolutely do have, men that are making life more difficult for women. So, but that's a long conversation, and I'm too tired to get into it. I'm feeling a little lightheaded. Shay, that's just Sony going global, different cultures, beliefs, religions. That's right. They have to appeal to a number of people. Oh, I can't see my face. I have the Zoom thing is off, so I'm only looking at the thing. Mortal Kombat 11, thank you, Seth, has plenty of sexy unlockable costumes for most of the characters. It may not be at the forefront, but it's still in there. Gotcha. I agree. You have a very nice chin, Mr. Jaffe, says Carlos. Thank you, buddy. So what do we got? We got Ekim, thank you, buddy. No lie, those Japanese female characters kind of look the same. They're sexy, but Western artists are going to have a wider range. I like both styles. Me too, man. I hear you. All right, did we get them all? Natil, $5, says, In my case, I'm working on a game dev degree. It's hard to be right-wing or conservative in the industry. Liberal agenda makes it hard. Liberal agenda. I mean, I do agree with you that there are more liberal folks in the industry, but I worked with people that were conservative at Bartlett Jones, and it was fine. But I appreciate the comment, buddy. Thank you so much for that. I think that's the super chats. Then let me look at the chat in just 1 second. Okay, so I'm trolling Jaffe. I'm bleeding cuties too. Okay, so what do we want to talk about? What do we want to talk about? I'm totally trolling you, you old so-and-sos. It's fake blood. Come on now. You got to let me... Oh, I just got $5 out of JG Mark 1 Gaming. Come on now. Come on now. You didn't have to pay money. I know what I was doing. Goddamn course I can see myself, you old so-and-sos. Come on. Who's going to give you the kind of entertainment I give you here at Gabbin' Games? Come on now. You gotta love me. All the ladies love me. You gotta love me too. Speaking of ladies, Melina Khan, what is the deal, man? Get in here. Can you hear us? I don't know what's wrong with her connection. I just don't know. I'm the best. Okay. All right, Mr. Super Chat. Let me get it, Vitter, now. Hang on. All right. That's so much. I have so much fun doing this show. It makes me so happy. All right, let's do this. Let's see. You're not going to take you serious when you're really in trouble. Well, I don't plan on getting really in trouble, you fuck. You fuck, but thank you guys for the concern. I appreciate it. All right. I'm looking for it, Vitter. Okay, well, Vitter, here it is. Vitter. I would fuck a fictional attractive character who says no is lying or has no imagination. Characters are created actually to play into your imagination. Still, I play good games not because characters are hot. No, I agree. But yeah, that's the whole shtick, man. Okay, let me get to the chat. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the great communications. Thank you for the calls. Don't you know who you're dealing with, babies? Come on now. King Villa, you've been trying to get my attention all night. What do you want, sir? What do you want, buddy? What do you want to talk about? Who's bothering you tonight, King? Hey, Rob, let me bring in Rob real quick. Rob the mod, thank you so much for modding. That was a long conversation, man. That went on and on and on.
That was a very long conversation.
And I hope. I mean, I know it was. I know it was longer than it probably should have been. And I know we kind of wore him out. But my Cliff Bleszinski conversation today was, kind of short, given that we usually go 4 hours. So I had a bunch of fuel left in the tank. But I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you screening those calls.
Hey, no problem, man. I do whenever I got time. But I always think it's funny when you were talking about this earlier, when people apologize for having choppy English. It's like, I barely know how to speak my own language, let alone another language. You know what I mean?
It is incredibly impressive. I mean, I speak a little French and barely, and it's like, no, man, that's good people. That's good stuff.
They try to, in Louisiana, they try to teach you French. It just doesn't stick.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Okay, I'm looking for. There was a guy. There's a guy who's been trying to troll me all night, and now I'm waiting for him to type. He's been saying King Villa. Where are you, baby? Come on now. Now you got my attention. Now you clam up like a goddamn fucking baby. Where are you? Let's talk God of War sequel being cross-gen. You mean let's talk about how I told you motherfuckers it was cross-gen, and all y'all said. All y'all said to me, "Oh no, man, it's not cross-gen. What are you talking about?" So yeah, it is. I told you it would be. Rob, I muted you only because you're echoing. I'll unmute you, but you're echoing. If you want to chat, you just got to turn.
Jackie.
Sorry.
Melina Khan, what the fuck is the matter with you? What is going on, buddy? Jesus, how are you?
I'm in Wyoming. Sorry.
You're in where?
I'm in Wyoming.
That means nothing to me. I just talked to a guy who was in South America. What does it mean you're in Miami? Does it mean you can't talk? Where have you been?
Wyoming.
Oh, well, that's different. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, because it's Wyoming.
The connection's always bad
No
in
worries.
Wyoming.
How are you, buddy? What did you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm in Wyoming.
Okay. What did you want? What did you want to talk about, Melina? What do you want to talk about, pal?
Yeah. I mean, the... Can you still hear me?
No, we're going to hang up, Melina, but we'll try next time if the connection's really bad. That crazy Wyoming. It's knuckleheads, people over there. Thank you, Melina. I appreciate it, buddy. You know I do. We'll make it work. We'll make it work next time. See you, bud. Okay. No, I'm just telling you, this guy, this king villain, whatever, he was been saying something about him. I'm jealous of somebody I don't even know who the fuck he's talking about. So, but no, look, man, I told you guys that God of War was going to be a fucking cross-gen thing, and I wasn't spilling any beans. I wouldn't do that. I just think it's obvious. No, she's not a troll. Melina's not a troll. She might be high as fuck, but she's not a troll. She's been a wonderful member of our community for quite some time. She's fantastic. No, I absolutely know why that makes all the sense in the world to put that game out on that system. So, yeah. All right, well, fellas, there we go. Here's what's happening. Let me give you guys a heads up. If you see at top of the chat, we're trying to schedule John Romero. He is committed. If you didn't watch our conversation with Cliff Blazinski earlier today, that is up on the YouTubes. You can watch that. I will be doing a proper Gabbing in Games this week. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or Friday. We have a Bomberman tournament coming up with some really great prizes. And I think we'll probably do a pot and popcorn this weekend, but I'm going to change the time so we can get more people in to watch it. So, all right, fellas. But that's it for now. Rob, thank you so much for helping and making this happen. I appreciate it, buddy.
It's fun.
And all you guys, thank you guys very, very much. I'm going to go get this shit off my face. I'm going to go, hello, Novodamus. Yeah, it's fake blood. And I'm going to go play some, I'm going to take the dog out, of course, and then I'm going to play some Empire of Sin. So, good to see you guys. Take it easy.